Thank you for picking up the Sticks. This is episode 139, Sticks Gaming Podcast. I am Mike Kernat. To my right, Mike Steak Carnia.
You nailed that for not doing that for a while.
I practiced it a lot in my head on the way here, too. So, thank you.
Fair enough. What's going on?
To my left, Art, Mayor of the Forbidden West, Rosian.
I'll take it.
That's a lot of land. That's yours.
It is.
It's from...
And I will dig out Buried Vegas.
yeah. First order of business is to uncover
I will dig
Buried
out,
at Vegas.
Step 1, dig out Buried Vegas. Step 2, just eliminate San Francisco. I'm tired of San Francisco in video games.
Yeah.
I feel like if I talk about San Francisco, it's almost a spoiler. But there's not. I mean, San Francisco is.
They showed the Golden Gate Bridge in the.
Yeah, in like the initial like.
I know,
reveal,
but
I think they did,
like
yeah.
that's about all. Like I mean, I've never been. I've driven through. I've driven on that bridge once in my life. But like, it feels just like it could be like anywhere USA with big buildings. Like honestly, like when I got there,
It's just like for the longest time, San Francisco was not in video games. And suddenly, in the past, like 5 to 10 years, we've had San Francisco in every video game that takes place in a major city. But I'm tired of it.
But the thing that we heard about as kids, like, oh, one day California's going to break off and it's going to be into the ocean. Well, that kind of happened here in this far flung future when they have like a large body of water between where San Francisco is and where the rest of the West Coast is.
That's true. You do have to take a boat or some shit over there.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about the Forbidden West because we have not. So I mean, there's a lot has come down. If you're listening to this and you stuck with us, thank you. We've had a lot going on for the last this year.
Yeah.
So like
6 months.
Yeah, we've been trying to get together, and something just keeps coming up. So thank you all for your patience. We hopefully we'll get back on a semi-normal rotation here.
We're here.
Yeah, we're here. We've been silent. I mean, Jesus. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I think a few things we're definitely going to talk about today. We haven't talked about. Obviously, we've all played the Forbidden West in some way, shape, or form. So we're going to go talking about that when we get into what you're playing. I mean, we got the new PlayStation Plus revamp and a bunch of other things that we haven't gotten into yet. So I don't know. Let's jump into this. Steak, what you playing?
Everything. If it came out in February through last week, everything.
That's a lot of that's a lot of really bad Steam games.
So,
Or it's just one Steam game.
that's true.
What?
There's a Steam game called Everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's,
Wario 64 always
I
posts
know.
everything is on sale.
and I fall for it. Like I just fell for it right there.
Everything is verified for Steam Deck.
Yeah.
That was the most recent one, I think.
Son of a bitch.
All
Sorry,
right.
I love you, Wario.
So let's see here. So I had to dig back about trying to figure out. Okay, like, this has been a while. So I finished Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, very good.
So I did finish that. I forget how long it took me. But I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the story very much. I enjoyed the way that one wrapped up. I thought it was very good.
Did you have a lot of that like ruined for you over time, or
No,
did you like
no,
so a lot
none
of it
of
was
it.
still fresh to you?
None of it. It was all fresh.
Oh,
it was all
beautiful.
fresh to me. So
Beautiful.
yeah, no, it was good. It was So I thoroughly enjoyed that.
It's probably good you finished that before Forbidden West because
Yeah. Yeah.
I also
well,
felt-
that was kind of my goal. And yeah.
Did you watch the Frozen Wilds DLC video before you started?
Yes.
All right, good.
Yes.
'Cause I felt terrible. I'm like, it's probably not gonna be that big of a deal, and it's a big deal.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Forbidden West.
No, I did watch that. So
All right,
yeah.
good,
so
good,
I,
good,
just
good.
I figured why not? Might as well keep it in there. All right. I'll skip Horizon then Forbidden West for right now.
Okay, maybe we just all talk about everything else we've played, and then circle back
Yeah.
to Forbidden West at the very end.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
probably the best.
Let's see, what else did I play? Oh, I finished for the first time ever Uncharted 3.
Hey, congratulations!
I don't know what got into me, but I just
What, you just decided to go back and play games that you hated on first playthrough?
kind of.
The PlayStation 4 games I used to hate.
Yeah. Well, with Uncharted 4 coming out with their definitive edition,
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah, yeah.
and with the Lost Legacy, that was my thinking. That's right. That's holy shit. That was a long time ago. That was my thinking. So I was like, oh, I've never finished Uncharted 3. I should go back and I should go finish that. That was fantastic. The story was great. The controls and stuff are still shit, but the story was fantastic for Uncharted 3. I really enjoyed it. And then I jumped into Uncharted 4 with the definitive edition. And holy hell, the like different performances on that, all the different settings are so drastically different.
Really?
Like, so the 4K 30 frames is like nearly unplayable, like to me. I think maybe because like I don't know why, but like I was struggling. Like I felt like it was just so slow for that style of game.
I am turning into a frame snob. I never thought I was going to be me. I never thought I was going to be me.
I was say I never noticed it until I played Borderlands 3 and I played it on 4K mode and then performance mode.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that was the first game where I noticed like a huge difference. And now I just default everything to performance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially with this one. So this one has
the exception being Spider-Man, where they have the hybrid mode.
Yes, yes, exactly.
That came out after I finished the game.
Yeah. But there was I can't remember the name of it now, but there is a mode in there. It's like it's basically a variable refresh rate or whatever. So it's basically like 120, like at 1080p, and that is the way to play it. Like, holy shit! Like, it's insane how smooth. Like, it actually, I feel like it looks better because of how smooth it is. Like, it's insane.
That's one of those things where like they announced the remake for that, and I bought it just because I was able to pay the upgrade price and
right, yeah.
$15 wherever I get both games on my, I have them whenever I want to play them. I don't feel either of those games needed an upgrade. They both looked great on the PS4.
It's like, I don't know, it's one of those things. Like, I mean, I haven't seen the new one yet, like the remaster version or whatever yet. So like, but yeah, it's hard for me to like I haven't done any of those remasters yet. Like I bought like the Death Stranding Director's Cut upgrade. I haven't even touched it yet. Yeah. Like, so like, I don't know how big of a difference it really does make.
Yeah, I was watching a couple of videos on the Uncharted one, and it did not seem like, especially visually, like it's it's all about that performance mode.
I can say it seems like the frame rate is really
because like you see some like with the 4K textures, you do see some difference, but it's like to me, it's like okay, this isn't worth the payoff though of like the 30 frames, especially for like I said, a game like that where it's like it's very high.
Yeah.
Like
if they didn't offer the cheap upgrade path, I wouldn't have bought that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how I did. I bought Uncharted 4 for $10, and then I upgraded for another $10. Done. Got them. Because you actually did not need to own both.
You just need to own one.
You just got to own one.
Yeah, that's a lot of game for $20.
Exactly. So I figured, what the heck?
And you never played Lost Legacy?
I never played Lost Legacy.
That game's so good.
So one of these days I'll get back to Uncharted 4 though, because like I don't know. And also it wasn't. I don't know. The first I got through the first like 3 chapters I think, and it just wasn't like I don't know
of which one.
Uncharted 4. And I was just like,
Did you get to the?
So I got out of.
Did you get to the Tux scene yet?
So we got out of prison.
Okay.
God, this was so long ago.
Tell me about it. It's been years for me.
Oh my god, I don't. I'm trying to think what I did after that. After that, there was like a bunch of like rock. I don't know how.
I was climbing. Stuff. I was shooting guys.
Yeah, exactly. But I can't remember exactly. Oh,
did you do the Tux?
Boat.
Oh, okay.
We go through all the different waters.
Oh,
yeah. Fuck that whole area. That took me way too long because every time I thought I cleared some guys out, oh, now I'm getting lit up again. Like, and I can't even find where the hell I'm getting lit up from. That whole level was a pain in the ass. But once I got through it, it was still kind of neat how you got from one side of the island to the other. Like the way they made you do it was really cool. But I don't know. I need to get back to that. It was just I don't know if it was because I went from 3 straight into that, and I was just like
Take it from somebody who crammed like 3 of those games in the span of like a week and a half. You definitely get burnout if you play them back to back to back.
Well, when we get into Horizon later, we'll talk about that with me when it comes to that.
I was afraid of that for you.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving on. There's quite a bit here. I'll make it quick as I can. Edge of Eternity. I started playing that. That's like that was that Japanese RPG game that went straight to Game Pass. But it was on all the systems too. It's been talked about and shown for years and years. It basically reminds me of like a Final Fantasy X almost. I got to get back to that because I was thoroughly enjoying it. Like if you're a fan of like Final Fantasy X, it's a very similar style.
I am a fan of Final Fantasy X.
Yes, it is really. I was really enjoying it, so I need to get back to that. All right, here's a big one that was unexpected. Elden Ring. So I was playing Elden Ring. I'm done playing Elden Ring, but before no, but before being done with Elden Ring, I did put like 25 hours into it. So like this is the most Souls like game I've ever played, but it still got to that point where I was just like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Like now it's like it feels more like a chore, like because I found my early farming area, I got super strong, And then it got to a point where I'm like, okay, I need to get strong. Then I was like, okay, now this is kind of like I'm still strong, but I got to be a little more careful. But I could still do it, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where I'm like, okay, now I really need to level up. But my old method will take way too long, and I found another method, but I was like still like out of reach of it though. Like so, it was like I still needed to beat like the area I was in to get to that, and I just could not get through this area. And I like had enough. Like I just couldn't do it.
Also, not long after launch, didn't they nerf a bunch of the farming areas that people were using?
They did.
Yeah,
They did. Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah, there was. I think last time we spoke, I was like, I think I'm gonna get Elden Ring, and then like
then you realize I don't want to hate myself.
No, I don't. Just like I said, like you know,
If you want to do that, you can play Rainbow Six.
Well, this is not your time for. This is not what you're playing. This is,
Am I wrong? If you played that, you'd hate yourself.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Okay.
But like I you know, all these reviews came up and everyone's loving it and whatever it is. I'm like, oh man, maybe. Then I heard someone talk about like, yeah, and then all of a sudden, I opened his chest and it teleported me across the world and I was stuck in a place I'd never been before and I couldn't get out of. Like that sounds terrible. That sounds like the world's worst experience for me. Like the possibility of that happening made me just like, I don't know if I have patience for this game.
See, the best part about that though is there was one of those that got me into a whole different area, and I got a staff that I was not supposed to have for a long time, and that would make me super OP then at that point.
Yeah, there was
I had to run away from. And that's the nice about Elden Ring, because it's such an open world. It's not like this, like the Dark Souls games where you're like in small corridors, and like so you really have to dodge, block, and all that stuff. You start getting lit up, you run the fuck away. Like you're done.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's still some enemies that will chase you for a while, but for the most part, a lot of them, if they're on foot, they'll leave you alone if you get as soon as you get far enough away.
But I think you were lucky with that too, because I remember also other people saying like, I just beat my head against this boss, and I know I shouldn't have been there yet, but I almost beat him the first time, so I keep beating my head against it, beat my head against it, and I finally beat him. Then I get a sword that I'm way underpowered for, and I couldn't use for like 40 hours, what I mean. So it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah. It's impressive. Honestly, though, it is super impressive, that game.
I'm still intrigued by it.
And, like, just the stuff in the open world and, like, the way it's designed, it's just like, oh, my God. Like, some crazy person has to think of this shit, like, in order to make this happen. But it works, and it works so well. Like, there's tiny little caves everywhere and stuff. It's maddening. Like, I understand the hype. I understand the scores it was getting. Like I get it. Like, but like I said, because look for me. Like this was the most I've ever played a game like that. Like it was impressive. But and that 25 hours up until that final like area where I finally called it quits. I was super into it. Like I was super enjoying it. So, Gran Turismo 7. God damn it! It's Gran Turismo 3 all over again. Anytime I pop it in, I just play it for hours. Every time I keep saying, okay, just one more race before I know it, I'm like, well, this was my night. My night was made of just Gran Turismo 7, which is not a bad thing. It's actually a very good thing, minus the whole online crap.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that it's not a true single-player game. It's kind of like a live service game with it's single player. It's got a live service over the single player. Like it's like because you can't like the other I don't know if it's in the news. I don't know if we were going to talk about it at all. No. Okay, but like when Gran Turismo 7 was patching and like they were fixing stuff and it was down. You couldn't even play the game for 2 days, even though it's a single player game. You couldn't play it offline. You had to be online to play it.
Everyone stop it. All right? Just stop that madness.
I hate it.
I don't understand who even thinks that's like a possibility.
What's the mechanic in the game that requires that you can see?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I didn't know if it was like doing like live weather tracking and wherever you race you get the actual weather at that time or some shit.
Some of that in there, but not everywhere. But
can you turn it off when you when you're trying to update your game for 2 days? Like I don't need to be that realistic. Like I just want to race a goddamn car. Right?
They have to upload new billboards in there to get their advertising money.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then also too from that patch they nerfed like how much money you were earning and stuff like that. So now it's taking like 5 times the amount of time to unlock like some of the higher end cars.
This is a single player game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't understand the point like. Because I've seen in other games too, where it's like a straight single player or a PvE type game, where they find they need to nerf things. If people are playing the game and having fun, let them play the game and have fun. Don't fucking break it so it can be more of a grind.
Can you buy? Can you like buy credits with like real money?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, there you go.
Of course you can. Of course
There
you
you
can.
go.
Yeah. Which is, but it's just like it's just terrible. Like that. So that aspect of it is very aggravating and just awful.
There has to be someone at the company like doing like a some kind of like business analysis. Like, all right, here's how much we stand to make if we let people just keep playing the game and have a good time, or if we decrease the rate at which they make money in game, we might be able to force them to buy the funny money and make a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just some actuary out there who's really messing this whole thing up for everybody.
Yeah. Let's see here. Chocobo GP. So that is the Final Fantasy racing game. I was super pumped for this.
There's a Final Fantasy racing game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Switch only. Exclusive to Switch. It's like it's very Mario Kart-esque. The problem is also very free to play mobile game that you pay full price for. So you pay the $50 to get to pay full price. However, if you want to unlock Cloud, you have to play the online only mode, earn enough point. You have to level up to level 60, which is an absurd amount in order to unlock Cloud. It's like free to play, like the gotcha crap in there.
Yeah.
On top of, but you pay full price for the game.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
Trash.
I'm glad I play as few games as I do.
I was on a roll this, but for the record, like most of this was points, gift cards. So like it was just like I have all this sitting here. I am just using it.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
pretty
did
much
that.
what it came down
I was
to.
like, I think I saw you playing Elden Ring, Horizon, and Gran Turismo like in the span of a week, and I asked you, I'm like, are you just buying everything that's coming out? What the hell's going on here? Did you win the lottery or something? What the?
Yeah, no.
Or like-
Horizon was the one I did pay for Horizon, but then like after that, like I had a whole bunch of other and then it's when I came across. I was like, oh, I've got points here and here. Oh, I've got gift cards here and here. Like so that's been nice. WWE 2K22.
Me too.
That was the other one you were playing. I saw.
Yeah, man. Razor Ramon versus Sad. That was like a week before he died.
Yeah, it was.
Razor Ramon versus Papa Shango. It's great. It's great.
really, really good.
That's not what I wanted to hear.
Oh, dude, it is
it's
really good.
Okay, so
When you guys
the
tell me it's
wrestling-
really good, that makes me not want to wait till Black Friday like I was planning.
Yeah, if
It's
you,
been on sale. I think it's actually on
it's
sale
already
right
on.
now.
It's already on sale,
right
which
now,
pisses
like,
me
this
off.
minute.
Because I bought because again I turned in a bunch of points.
Yeah.
And I got like the Mega Super NWO
Oh, the
edition.
NWO
I got
one?
so
Nice.
everything's unlocked. I have
Nice.
everything I wanted.
Oh,
like
nice.
so I don't have to grind to get unlocks.
Yeah.
You know, as a guy or whatever it is. I have everything that you don't unlock in the course of like doing the My Rise, which is like the creative player
yeah.
mode and things like that.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, I love it.
Yeah, it's great. Like I haven't dove into the GM mode yet at all.
Neither-
I
I
pretty
haven't
much-
even-
That's the only reason I want to play
and
that
I
game.
haven't even done GM mode yet. I'm
Yeah.
pleading art right now.
I just
I'm
been-
loving
I just
this game, and I haven't even done GM mode yet.
I'm
I've
leaving.
Done so many
I quit. Going home.
I've done.
I've done so many of the exhibitions, like just like creating matches and just playing. It's been fantastic. The faction I touched a little bit.
A little bit. That's
okay.
Yeah, that's all. I mean,
It's
I don't.
too grindy.
Yeah, I don't
Mike,
do the whole
you're,
card
you're
thing.
dead to me. If I didn't already own your copy of No Mercy, I'd steal it from you.
I'm not saying it's better than No Mercy. I'm saying.
I'm just saying you would deserve to lose some kind of wrestling video game related thing to this. But you have nothing that I want.
Yeah,
so.
no, it's like. So I've done. I've messed around a lot in like the creation suite, like seeing what's out there, and I just kind of messing with my own stuff. I made up a completely fictional wrestler to go through My Rise, which is like your career mode.
I did start that a little.
So
bit.
I've gotten like probably halfway through that because like you started at the performance center.
Yeah.
And then if you impress there, the GMs from NXT, Raw, and SmackDown will show up and offer you contracts. And then you pick one of those three, and then you kind of just start from there. But ultimately, you run out of like storylines to do on one. Like I ran out of storylines to do on Raw, so I switched over to
okay.
SmackDown. I went full bad guy too, which is so much fun because you are just such an asshole in this thing, and you have so many opportunities to be a complete asshole.
Nice.
I also fully recommend once they give you the chance to earn or fight for the 24/7 championship. Definitely do that because that storyline is hilarious and like the story and like it's like every once in a while I'd be like, all right, we're gonna have, I don't want to spoil it, but like you're gonna do this thing, or you go do this thing, and all of a sudden you're in a 24/7 match. Like the guy just comes and just jumps you. Like it's really really good.
Awesome.
It's super fun. Like they get you in all the different match types and. I mean, there's some like the only real issue I've had with the game so far is like I really have to like cheese like a tag team win. Like
Okay.
you gotta like hit your finish on the guy in the ring. You gotta knock the guy off the apron on the outside of the ring, and then you gotta pin him because they break it up 100% of the time.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing that is like
There's
really
always kind
knocking
of
it
issues
down.
with the tag team
Yeah.
matches in any wrestling game.
But just like there's a lot of things you can like. It's like I wonder if I can do this, and sure shit you
Yeah.
can do it. Like it's really really good, and the new fighting system is
It's
smooth.
cool. It's cool.
It's
It takes a little time to get used to, but it's very
Yes.
smooth. Yeah.
The combo system that ends in like a move
It's neat.
or like or
It's
a
neat.
strike, and there's so many different versions of all those things, and the way you counter and break those things up.
Yeah.
It's really really great. So like the whole idea of like yeah you can button mash and look really awesome, but like when you kind of get over that hump of being like I know what I want to do and you start executing those things,
Yeah.
like you become really you become fun to watch,
Right.
And it's really really great, and the creation suite, the community.
Oh, the community is ridiculous.
ridiculous.
It's insane. Everything you could think of is there. Everything.
The 4 days after WrestleMania happened, someone made that stage.
Yep.
Like made the whole arena for the new WrestleMania. Every
And all-
AEW person's in there.
And all the new costumes everyone
Yes.
wore are in there
Yes.
from WrestleMania. Everything. Like, it's insane.
I searched for some random ass stuff and it shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I searched, like I have. There's like nothing I don't think I've searched for yet. Even like the really dumb random stuff.
Yeah.
And it shows up like in the creation suite. It is really crazy. You can upload your own images.
Yep.
You can upload your own face if you want to. And like yeah, it is scary by the way because you find like when you're searching for things you get like face scans sometime and it's like Hellraiser type stuff. Like it's really fucked up.
yeah.
But yeah, it's like I said, you can like once you download, like I downloaded like the old ECW arena, like the old like with the brick wall, the fences, and then anything that's on any of the images are made in that stadium, or now you have access to in those images too.
Right.
So like if I'm creating somebody and I want to have like the ECW logo on the back, I just have it now,
Yep.
like the old school one. It's like all those things, it's all intertwined, and it's super fun. And like I said, I haven't even touched the showcase mode yet.
Nope.
I haven't touched the universe mode
Nope.
yet. I haven't even touched GM mode yet, which is the thing I was most excited for because I got wrapped up in the My Rise thing.
Oh, it's
There's so
There's
much
so
there.
much.
There's so much there, and I'm just now kind of getting into it.
see that's the thing, and that's what I like about it too. It's like I'm not like so focused on playing it. It's just I know there's so much in there that it's just like great. Anytime I jump in, I've got so much I could do anything.
Yep.
And like and then it's just like all right, I'm gonna play this for a couple hours tonight and then go on to something else or whatever. Like it's so good.
Ah,
Art, buy it.
it's very good. It's on sale.
It is on sale. NWO edition is on sale.
Well, we'll see. Black Friday's not that far away. Here's the
Yes,
problem.
it is.
Here's the
That is
problem.
right.
With,
I was just saying.
It's like,
here's the problem with that. My son has suddenly taken an interest in wrestling.
oh,
So if I get that game, he's going to want to play it with me. Playing games with him is infuriating. Like I sit there and play like the Lego Marvel games with him, and he thinks it's more fun to beat me up than to fight the enemies. It really pisses me off because I just want to get through the goddamn level.
you gotta throw him off the balcony, dude.
That's right.
I did. So he like took this interest in wrestling. So I went out and ordered an adapter for my N64 hook up to a TV.
Nice.
I haven't done it yet because I'm trying to figure out which TV I want to just lose access to for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Try to do the upstairs.
I mean, there's the front room, which, you know, that's where we actually watch TV. There's the basement where I play video games. The other option is I have a TV in my office I don't really use, but I don't really want him fucking around my office. I don't know. I have things to figure out. But I figured, you know, No Mercy or WrestleMania 2000, it's a good starting point for a kid. It's pretty simple.
I think so.
Absolutely.
You know, I said teach him the difference between, you know, quick grapple and strong grapple and counters, and I'm not going to tell him the button to get weapons out of the crowd because I'll just use that against him.
All of a sudden, just show up with a chair.
Yeah. Oh, we're fighting. Oh, where'd that come from? Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Let me speed these up here. All right.
We had no place to be.
Yeah, right. Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. So this is the new Final Fantasy that's like kind of Souls-like in a way, but it's got difficulty settings. Thank God. Actually, I was playing on normal for quite a while. I was doing really.
Of
really
course,
bad.
you're pro now. You played Elden Ring for 25 hours.
Actually, that totally helped.
I bet.
It was so funny because like when I started playing it, I'm like, oh my, and that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, holy shit, Elden Ring's actually helping me right now because it's like the same mechanic. It's the same mechanics, but not as hard, even on normal mode. Like the difficulty still wasn't like quite there until I hit this one boss. Then I was like, all right, I was stuck on him for 2 hours. So I was like, okay, that's it. So I went down to easy, but then it was like Chewies. It was like, okay, like I needed something in between here. Like, cause
Right.
all of a sudden now I just smoked them. Like,
Right.
It's nice to toggle it though too. It's just like if like for whatever reason, like you can like go go to the boss, switch to easy, switch it back up to medium afterwards.
You
and
can.
like
Yeah.
that's
You
what I
can,
mean, like
which is fine.
that-
Yeah,
which is
right, yeah.
which is nice.
But honestly, like the game visually could be way better. But it plays fantastic. The gameplay is excellent. The job system's incredible, and the story has been fantastic. Like I know everyone was making fun of Chaos,
Well.
because that was funny, but that character is actually amazing.
How many
It's
times does he say it in the game?
Pretty much just a couple times.
And
right
as many
away.
times as that trailer?
No.
That,
Actually,
that was that was a super cut of every time he says it
Yeah,
in
it
the
was
game.
in the entire game. Yeah, right.
They really just in that trailer they really wanted to get across the point that
Oh,
chaos
yeah.
is a
Oh
thing.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so I'm enjoying that. Game that I'm enjoying way more than I did actually anticipate. Still, Ghostwire Tokyo.
All right.
I am freaking loving that game. I heard you are able to beat it in 9 hours. I am 20 hours in and only halfway through it.
Holy moly!
I am doing like everything. Like it's just I want to. Like every time I see something new, I want to go do it. And like I'm not getting. It's tedious. I will say it is. But for some reason, I'm not like getting sick of it though. Like either. And it makes some good use of the PlayStation 5, which makes me kind of curious how it's going to be on Xbox in terms of like the controller. So like it does like these like the the haptic feedback and everything like that. Like it does some crazy stuff with the controller where I'm like, I don't know. You're gonna get the same. I mean, you're obviously not gonna get the same effect with the Xbox version when that comes out.
Interesting.
So that it's kind of neat because like you're making like all these crazy like I think they call it like weaving, like crazy like symbols with your hands and stuff while you're doing all this stuff, and like you feel that with the controller. So, Kirby and the Forbidden Land, I finished it. Took me about 9 hours. It was absolutely incredible.
Didn't you beat it like the weekend it came out?
Yes, I beat it in 2 days.
Jesus
I
Christ.
could not stop. Like I could not stop. Like it was so good. Yeah, it's fantastic. Best Kirby game I've ever played.
Oh god, I'm like not wanting to play that game. I want to play it. I had to find my Switch
Yeah.
for one.
I think that's a bigger battle. from
If
what
I,
you
can
described.
find, if I can find it first and then maybe buy it afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, last two. We'll make this quick. Make this very quick.
No, take your time.
It's all right.
Got no place to be.
Oh yeah, like a half hour here, 30 minutes.
We're about almost at a half hour.
I got a mulch delivery at 7:30 in the morning tomorrow. You can tell who I don't. It doesn't. No, I'm already messed up. Who cares?
That stinks.
Moss Book 2 surprise dropped. Like they announced the release date like 2 weeks out from like, the actual release date.
Yeah, I totally forgot it. Like it was like, oh, hey, it's out. Like, oh shit, it is
Yeah.
out.
It's amazing. So I polished off the PlayStation VR, hooked it up to the PlayStation 5 for the first time. That took me a little while to get that all connected correctly.
Did you do a bunch of updates then?
Actually, no. Surprisingly, not. My VR, whatever.
I'm
the
surprised
last
they
time
didn't
I
have like a
played-
firmware update or something.
Yeah, no, my VR was the correct firmware, so it's still the version 5. So if you have version 5, you're good. That's the. I don't think they're going to be updating it anymore. But oh my god, it's if you've played the first Moss, it's more Moss and even better. Like it just more of it,
Which is fine. Which is
great.
totally fine.
Which is all you need. I'm on the last area, so but I've been just it's amazing. It's so good. And finally, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Hey, my kid's been playing that.
It's really good. Like it looks amazing. It plays incredible. Yeah, like I am super enjoying that. That's another one where it's gonna be kind of like a, all right, today I'm sitting down, I'm on this map. Let's go see what Kyber blocks are available. Let's go see what I have to do to complete those, and then maybe I'll do a level. Like, this game is huge.
I was like,
Like, I get why it took so long.
I was like, how long does it take to get through a movie? Like,
So if you just went through just straight the missions for the story, so that you started off with episode 4,
Okay.
of course, and then after you beat 4, you unlock 5. So I think I have a feeling it's gonna probably go 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9.
I forget what like the
theatrical
like,
release.
No, I forget how they there's like a term for like we're Star Wars fans. You watch 4. You watch 5, and then it ends with "I am your father," and you go back to 1 to see how that story starts.
God, that'd
for
be-
1,
that'd be
2, 3, then you watch 1, 2, 3, then the 6, and the 7, 8, 9.
Oh my god,
Because like I said, if someone who's never watched Star Wars, like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like some people think that's like the preferred way to do it.
that's interesting. That's an interesting way to watch it. I might have to do that. I actually, since playing this, I watched episode 4 recently because I was like, I haven't watched it in a while. And I might have to do that.
What is? There's a term for it. Keep going. I'm sorry. It'll take me forever to find.
But yeah, no, but it's huge. The game's huge. But episode. I mean, so if you go through just the story stuff, it's not that. I would say like maybe a couple hours for each movie, like in terms of like the actual like story, like, missions and stuff like that. But there is so much stuff to do though.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but like I said, my kid has. It seems like there's less flying missions in this than there were in the original ones, which I greatly appreciate because the kid cannot do the flying missions, which means I have to do them. The flying missions in the original Lego Star Wars games for the first 6 movies, those flying missions sucked.
Oh, he must not. He might not have gotten to the dogfight yet.
No. The only one I've done so far is a race.
Okay. Yeah, no, there's one where like, but you know what? But the thing is, it's like you have to do like you're in the Millennium Falcon, so you do have to shoot down some of the TIE fighters, but then after that, you can do more of that, or you can just go straight to the next like planet. So like, I think you kind of like avoid that time.
Okay, so it's called the Machete Order.
Oh, okay.
Now you watch Star Wars 4, New Hope, 5, Empire Strikes Back, Die Your Father. Then you go to episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and episode 3, and you just don't even watch Phantom Menace at all. I guess you watch it and it said like Phantom Menace optional, Solo optional, Rogue One optional.
Can I just watch the pod racing of Phantom Menace and that's it?
That's so damn funny. Like first movie, just throw that out.
That really is the Machete way.
Jesus,
that's hilarious. So that's everything.
That's a lot of stuff. Art, what you playing?
We're leaving Horizon till the end, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I only have 2 other games.
Okay.
Well, 2 other games worth talking about. I played Dying Light 2.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
It was a fun game. It was different from the first one in that, in the first one, if you go out at night, that's when, the one super mutant zombie comes out and chases you. In this one, there's different types of mutant zombies that come out at night. It's interesting, though. It's like they're all outside at night, so that you want to try to do indoor missions at night because the buildings are more empty.
Okay.
But then during the day, the open world is more empty, but you don't want to go into buildings because they're full of zombies hiding from the sun.
Okay.
Yeah, when the game works, it's fun. The game is buggy as hell.
Yeah.
That was like that when this first came out.
Yeah,
so...
I mean, I played it for the first 2.5 weeks it was out until I beat it. I was playing with people, and I was not the host, and I got booted during the final mission.
Oh.
So I missed half of the content of the final mission, so I'm kind of jaded on that game. I have stuff to go back and do, but I don't know if I will.
That sucks. That sucks.
I was fine with all the glitchy, like the bugs and the glitchiness, and it being kind of hard to join an online game until the final mission when I got booted out and I'm missing like cutscenes and shit, and I'm like,
that's brutal.
That sucks.
I'm like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah,
I hate every bit of this. So yeah, that kind of killed my joy of the game when I want to see the end of the fucking story, and I'm missing like half the cutscenes for the end of the story. It doesn't scale. I mean, I guess it depends on your perspective of things. It in my mind, it doesn't scale well, the difficulty, because if you have 4 people and you all focus fire on the one, the boss of whatever area, they will die quick. Which, I mean, it kind of makes sense. If you have 4-person beating the one up instead of 1, it makes a difference. But I guess I kind of wish it scaled a little bit more so those battles went on a little bit longer, so there's more to it.
Sure.
It's funny, but not necessarily fun when you're just tearing through all the bosses in the game because you have 4 people playing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you played the first one, you like it, it's worth checking out. I'm sure they've fixed a bunch of the bugs by now, but I'd honestly say wait for a sale on it. It might be on sale by now. Once I beat it, I just stopped paying attention to it altogether.
Yeah.
So there's that. I've also been playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which it is exactly what it's advertised as. It's a Borderlands game placed in like a D&D campaign.
Nice.
So most of the Borderlands characters you're used to seeing aren't there. 1 or 2 pop up every now and then. I've probably played about 25-ish hours of that so far.
Nice.
I'd estimate that I'm probably about 3/4 of the way through the game. There's only I think there's 12 story campaign, missions or chapters, whatever the hell you want to call them. But there's a ton of side stuff, which any open world game, that's kind of the way it goes these days. I'm enjoying it. It's not my favorite. I consider it a Borderlands game just because it is. They've retitled stuff. You have a ward instead of a shield. You have a spell instead of grenades. You still have guns. You have goofy melee weapons. I've been swinging a fish around for the past 4 days.
That's awesome.
I'm starting to placing this at, comparing it to other Borderlands games. It kind of falls into the same scope for me as the Far Cry games. The game is as good as the big bad guy is interesting, and I'm not finding the big villain in this interesting at all. He's popped up he hasn't shown up very much at all in the game. He showed up at the beginning when they're kind of laying the ground for the story, and his voice pops up every now and then as you're doing things. Part of me feels like they were hoping more that having big name voice actors, play these characters would make it more interesting. Because Will Arnett's the main villain, and they have Andy Samberg and Wanda Sykes as the two companions playing through the D&D campaign with you. To me, the writing feels lacking. Part of that might be because I've been focusing more on side missions and the story. There was a story mission that we did last night that was pretty funny. It was, you're going through this campaign, and the Tiny Tina, who's the dungeon master, game master, whatever the hell you want to call it, she's kind of introducing this new character, and all everyone playing the game's like, nah, she's gonna turn on us. And Tiny Tina's like, no, you're gonna love her, I swear. And it gets to one point where the characters keep saying skin over and over. She's like, next person who says skin, just immediately combusting. And the character she's controlling says skin, and everyone's like, oh, she said it. And she's like, fine, this is what you want. And so that part was interesting. Awesome. Maybe it's just that I'm doing a little too few and far between the story missions. So maybe it's just the way I'm playing it, but I don't know. The main villain definitely doesn't hold a candle to some of the past ones in Borderlands games, and maybe that'll turn a big corner in these last 4 or 5 chapters. But yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it because I like just the style of the Borderlands games and the way they play. Yeah, but. If you don't like Borderlands games, you're probably not going to like this game.
I was going to say that's what it looked like, just more Borderlands, essentially, not exactly.
The other thing that kind of, I don't know how I feel about it, but so the I guess the precursor for all this was in Borderlands 2. They did a Tiny Tina DLC where it was the same thing. It was like a D&D campaign, but they made it super difficult, so it was like a Souls game kind of just set in Borderlands. That's not the case here. This is a normal difficulty Borderlands game, so it's not ball-bustingly hard if anyone's played that DLC, which they released on PlayStation Plus for free the month before the game came out or something.
Yeah, I think in February, yeah.
Yeah, which I'm not sure how that works, because when I played that DLC, it was with my character who I dragged through the whole campaign already and was max leveled and was still having a hard time with it, so I don't know how they started you off in that free download.
Where they give you a maxed out character to play with or something.
Maybe, yeah. That's the only way I can see them doing it and have that be enjoyable and maybe be a selling point. But yeah, it's more Borderlands, contrary to the different name. That's all I've been playing outside of Horizon, which we'll get to after Mike goes through about 15 games.
No, you'd be surprised, and I'll explain why once we get into Horizon. So, I know we talked about how much I've been spending with WWE. So, there's really only, I think 3 different things I played.
Jesus.
Outside of Horizon.
Man, if there was an over-under bet on this, I would have lost my ass.
Yeah.
I played through the Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath DLC.
Oh, yeah.
Because I needed that hard drive space before Horizon came out. I'm like, I've had this on there forever. And, so I went through all, the DLC characters I haven't played yet and, got their fatalities and see what their friendships and things like that. That was all a good time. And I played through Aftermath, which was gorgeous on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aftermath was pretty good. It's definitely important for the story going on.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as good as 11 proper.
Sure.
I feel like this is more just all right, people are loving this. Let's give them more story.
Yeah.
Shang Tsung, like cool,
with these other characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, I mean, some of it was kind of cool to go back to the things I did in 11, and there's like time travel and all kinds of fun stuff in there. So some of it was totally it was good, but it wasn't like I always talk about the Mortal Kombat like 10 and 11, like. There's no way that story should be that good.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like the Cobra Kai of video games. Like it makes no sense.
The game has no right to be that good.
It should not be this good.
That's right.
I played through I played about a little bit and was playing Backseat Driver on the Oculus Quest version of Myst. I think I've bought Myst in every transformation it's ever been in now, and it's like, I remember some things still, but I have a guide, and I was playing a little bit, and you can only my main gripe with the game is you can only have one active game at a time.
Yeah.
And Lucy wanted to play, I'm like, go ahead and play. 'Cause I've played this game a million freaking times already. So like, and you can mirror the Oculus on a TV. So like, she's in the Oculus,
right.
I'm watching her play. I'm like, all right, look left.
Your other
All right.
left.
What looks like did anything look like a half moon to you? Like, all right, and so and she's loving it, and it's really really pretty on the Quest.
Nice.
I think I played a little bit on the Xbox when it was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like the free movement is like still kind of breaks my brain, and not having the full motion video, like, Atreus and I forget what his kids' names are. Not Atreus. Oh God, what's that guy's name? I don't know. I've only played it a million times. Oh man, it's gonna kill me. Anyway, it's but they like animated them like in the original games they were full motion video, and they just had to animate it. They have the same voice, which is really funky, but they've animated them now. It's like they should have just keep the video, like that's
Right.
classic. But yeah, it's Myst, so there's nothing really much to talk about there. Bought NBA 2K22, and I am now in the regional finals with my new team I've created.
Nice.
And I am manipulating and managing. Not even managing. I'm like
Conference finals?
What did I say?
Regional.
Conference finals.
Okay. I would say, like, is there another game mode where you're in a region?
I'm in basketball now. I'm college basketball. No, so like so I got a chance to draft a new team and going through the whole thing. I started 1-5. I'm like, oh, my team sucks, and I made a few
blew it all up.
I made a few trades, changed a few things, basically changed my entire playbook. And I've only lost 22 games that season, so I didn't lose a whole lot beyond that.
Nice.
So we'll see how that goes. But it's still it's stupidly fun to watch and to manage. And I'm gonna have some salary cap problems, just like everyone else.
Nice.
But I think I know what I'm gonna do on that. So I think I'm gonna be okay there.
Nice.
But yeah, I think I started a new segment of like things that 2K does that Madden should do.
Oh, I like it.
We could do a whole episode of this.
It's a lot, and there's a lot of problems with 2K if you're actually playing it. I
there
guess,
is.
and like the
There
virtual
is.
currency is like ridiculous. But literally, the way I'm playing it is fucking awesome. I don't. It's the game I've played the least, and probably has the most like clocked hours on my Xbox right now because I just put it on in the background. I interact with
right.
it once every little bit to like fast forward through free throws or like start the game, and I just let it go and watch.
You like watch the games be played out?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's like I'm in the background while I do work when I'm like out of podcast to listen to. Like
Yeah,
it's just like
that's
something. It's
nice.
honestly just TV to watch.
Yeah.
Now the baseball season has started back up though, so I'm gonna have some daytime TV. It's gonna be a little different. So you can set up macros for your team. Where like you can set one up where it's just like, all right, if it's under 5 minutes and I'm up 15, throw in my scrubs. Like you just like set things up like that, and you can do all, and it's like all kinds of stuff you can do, and based on like if this person, like I think you can even get into the nitty gritty of like if this person's shooting under X% on this time, put his backup in more. It's like there's all kinds of stuff you can do because guys definitely get hot and cold in that game too. Like, they have stretches too, so it's fun, and I'm sure this is a very solo me thing, but it is super super fun.
I know Madden has the exclusive license for NFL simulations. Could 2K do something like a front office, like the old GM mode, the old coach
I don't
game?
see why not.
Yeah, totally could.
Probably not worth their time or something.
As long as you actually can't physically play the game.
Yeah, that's
yourself.
fine. That's fine.
Oh no, I bet you that's how they can get away with it though. It's like do like some kind of like something like that.
Maybe.
Or I mean they've talked about their first 2K football game was gonna be like a mobile game. I could totally see that like being the mobile game. Like honestly, like kind of like a head coach.
Like I would kill just for A good football game I can sim through and manage a team. You
It's-
can't do that in Madden.
Like, honest to God, like if you look, I mean, I have my own personal terrible experiences with that game, and this is like months later. The season has ended months ago, and the Madden Reddit is still blowing up with just all kinds of stupidity and like this guy. Someone had the first 2 picks in the draft, like a computer guy, like they're with trades. It's like 5-6 years down the road, and they picked quarterbacks, number 1 and number 2, and they already had like a 90 overall quarterback on their team. It's just
Wasn't that
like,
one of the things
what?
that they were supposed to be fixing with the scouting? And
Well,
Yeah,
they
they said that
yeah,
every
no,
year.
but they always said that they're not going to do all those updates that they for the franchise thing, and the scouting thing was the scouting was pointless. The scouting was.
anyone want to
pointless
start a
nonsense.
class action against them for false advertising?
I don't know if that would count. I don't know. Talk to my brother.
Oh,
right.
that's right.
Yeah.
We get some insight now.
He's
Someone on the inside.
Can you send a fuck you letter to EA?
I don't know. Can you file a class action?
How do we do this?
I don't know, but it's like I don't know, but like yeah, I mean again going back to like this the NBA 2K piece of it too. It's just like yeah, I'm far too invested in it, and like I still don't understand how half those contracts work. But they're all like the legitimate way the NBA contracts work. There's so many different options and layers of the financing
sure.
piece of
Yeah.
it. And like I can make my own graphs and charts of like over time, like people's like not only just salaries, but just like shoot, like if this player were to play 36 minutes a game, like what would his rebounds be? So I can see like if I put this guy in my starting position, like how would that look? And there's just so many things you can do. It's really, really impressive. Just like the suite of options and just like customization you can make for your team without even playing the game. It's crazy.
Nice.
Hearing you talk about that makes me sad.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna have Vooch is on my team, and he's totally gonna be a salary cap casualty after this year because I got a guy who is my third center because both my 2 centers are both gonna be traded at the end of the season because I can't afford him anymore. And this guy's like, if you look at his like 36-minute ring, he's like scores more points, has more rebounds than Vooch. I don't know if it's actually gonna happen when he actually plays the full game or not. But I have no reason to suspect otherwise.
Right.
At about $20 million less a year, so
Worth the risk.
we'll see. All right, last one I have is Horizon.
Yep.
All right, where are you with Horizon?
I beat it.
All right, Steak.
I'm like 10 hours in.
All right.
I just started my Voyage West.
I beat it. I did not complete all the side campaigns.
I have platinumed it.
Okay.
Jesus.
It took me almost exactly 91 hours.
Jesus.
So that is why I have not been playing
My God.
anything else.
Jesus.
I like it was like I did. There was literally only 2 trophies I had to clean up, and they were both. Well, one was like, all right, I had to do a little bit of work, like half an hour.
Yeah.
Other one was just like, oh, I just didn't do that in the game, so I just went to
Oh,
a thing and
nice.
did it and popped the last trophy.
You're the second person I've heard with that kind of story.
Yeah.
Mine, it was like I would basically like alternate play sessions between like I'm just gonna do side missions today. I'm just gonna do
That's
story
kinda what I
today.
was doing,
and I
yeah.
hit it was one of those things like I did it. I hit a point where I'm like, all right, I just want to do the story, so I just did the story, and I was plenty ranked up at that point to get through all of it.
I was 50 in like 70 hours. I still played 20 hours before I even finished the game. But I finished it in almost exactly 91 hours because when I finished those couple of things, I did one last thing I wanted to do just to see if something would happen. I don't want to spoil because it's like spoilery. And then I checked my time. It was like 91 hours and like 12 seconds. Like it's like almost exactly 91 hours.
That's awesome. That's crazy.
So like yeah. So Steak, you haven't played it a ton yet.
Yeah, no, I finished. So I finished Horizon Zero Dawn 2 days before this one came out, and I did I skipped a ton of the side quests obviously in the first one just because like I was like I wanted to get through it.
Yeah.
But I did some because I was like, well, I still need some upgrades, so I'm gonna do some of these and stuff. So, but it got to that point, so I did all that, and then when I started this one, I was jumping straight into everything. Like when side quests were available, I was jumping into them because I'm like going right because I missed out on all that stuff the first time around. So I
Yeah.
was like, all right, I want to do as much as I can in this game, and I think I kind of just burnt myself out a bit with like the world and everything.
Hey,
'Cause,
you
like,
sound like me with the first game.
And there is
Yeah.
and like right off the bat, there are so many things
So
to do
much.
and look at.
Oh my God,
And all
it's-
these question
it's
marks,
overwhelming.
and you can't even do like I can't like I wasted so much time at the beginning going towards question marks that
Oh, I
of
learned
things
to
I
do it.
couldn't do.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm not doing that
Yeah.
anymore until I get to a little bit further in the game, and then all I did was question marks for a long time after that. So yeah, I mean, Art. I mean, you were a huge fan.
Yes.
Of Zero Dawn.
Yes.
How do you feel about Forbidden West?
I really enjoyed it. I felt basically the same way I felt this one towards the original one, where when you're doing the story, and this story is considerably different from me because you're not focusing on the tribes like you were in the original story. This is all about like the Zero Dawn type stuff, Pharaoh Robotics and Elizabeth Sobek and all that stuff. And there's some new stuff that gets thrown in there. I'm not going to say anything to spoil anything, but there's, new stuff and new people that get thrown in there, but you're still, going back and talking to some people from Zero Dawn from the original game who, team up with you and help you out, or, if you start off the game, you're talking to the Sun King again, and he just wishes you on your way. And right off the bat,
in the shadow of your statue,
that
you've erected in your honor,
it's still hitting on you.
Yeah, oh yeah, real hard.
He was going hard, like harder than he did in the first game.
Yeah.
The one thing, it's not really a complaint. It's just kind of peculiar to me. Is like, so you start off the game, you're right back where it picks up right after Zero Dawn ends, pretty much. You're back talking to the Sun King, and there's a Spire, and Silence pops up again, who's the guy who kind of turned on you at the end of Zero Dawn and walked away, and he pops up, and then he pops up like sparingly through the game.
Yes.
More as you get towards the end. I'm not sure how I feel about that, because like it definitely teased like at the end of Zero Dawn that he was.
He's basically the villain, like the major villain, like they kind of tease, right?
That's what they tease, yeah.
Like, I mean,
they tease like he used you to set you up so he can get Hades.
Right, exactly, yeah.
But like we didn't know what his intentions were with that.
Right, yeah.
And then you find out what the intentions are in this game, but he's kind of like somebody like you under your breath grumble about it every once in a while, but he's mostly absent,
right,
in a lot of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, like he shows up at the very beginning. He shows up and he doesn't show up, but he's mentioned, and it's centered around him and Hades, like another early mission, and then he's just kind of not part of the story until you get closer to the end.
I haven't seen him in a while.
There's a lot. There's a lot of characters like that. Like Regalla is the same thing. Regalla is so in the Forbidden West there are the Tenakth, which is a more. I don't say more primal tribe, but they're more
like a warrior tribe.
Yeah, they're a warrior tribe. That's a better term for it. And they have like splinters of that tribe. Like they have the the air tribe, the land tribe, and things like that. So like the Tenakth are basically all in the Forbidden West. Regalla is starting up a new version of the tribe that basically take over the king of the Tenakth. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, me either.
Because they're all crazy names. Like there's no one has a normal name. So I'm not good with normal names to begin with. So like Regalla comes out there and she's basically like trying to re-warrior the warrior clan, because they've like kind of like started to come together like before, like the different sects of this warrior clan would fight each other for dominance, and she wants to go over that again, and she has the riding machines that
and that's like the big thing when she first shows up. She has overridden machines that she has control of, which
she should know how to do.
Yeah, Aloy thinks nobody but her knows how to do that.
Right. So that's kind of like that's what gets that's another one of the bad guys. Another bad character is out in the ether in this game, and then there are. I mean, I don't know. I want to talk about the third section of bad guys that are out there. So, but like those guys that are also out there, like everyone's just kind of always just like hovering around in the ether.
The other thing too is like. Early, like in the first, let's call it a 3-act game. In the first act, they introduced you like 5 different big bads.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's like there's Regalla, there's this other group, and the way they tie it into the Zero Dawn story and what they have to do with it is interesting. I'm not huge into sci-fi, but this sci-fi I can get into. Lost my train of thought.
It's like even the first game is like that. It's still like because like towards the end it turns really sci-fi, because it's really getting the story point across. But even that, it still wasn't like a true sci. It's not a true sci-fi.
It's like it's a different take on like the post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's plausible and
Right.
explained
Yeah.
and like
Well, I would say that the fact that it's like based in something that is like a very real fear for people of our generation,
right.
like that the machines are going to take over and destroy everything.
Right.
But yeah, it ties in like the big crux of like your gameplay going throughout is that, you know, there's a clone of Gaia out there, which is the main system that ran Zero Dawn, and you have to go find, what is it, like 5 of the 8 subsystems to get her back up and running.
yes.
Because Hades is gone.
Right.
Um,
Well, yeah.
ish.
Yeah. No. I was trying to think. I think it's 5 ultimate. So you find that one, then you gotta go find 3 more,
Right.
and then you gotta find 1 more after that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's like the main crux of the game, and then there's a whole bunch of other like you're racing against another villain to do this, and
Well, it seems like you're working on. you're both. You know, everyone's trying to get to basically put Gaia back together, but from very different angles. Like you're trying to do that.
very different angles and very different reasons.
Yes. Like you're trying to do that because there's also this blight that's coming across the land, this red, you know, organic material that's just like
Yes.
eating and poisoning and,
Yeah.
and just killing everything. So like you're trying to do that because you need to get the systems up and running again to get the biosphere back in the system, get your
Right.
ecosystem back in line. Other people are trying to do the Silence Group is trying to do that. Well, Silence is trying to do that so he can get like the information. He's always wants information, no matter at any cost. He wants information.
Information is power.
And the third group wants to get it for reasons I can't get into. So, but you're all like kind of coming from different directions, trying to get to this main point.
Yeah, and you know, I think we've kind of hinted at this already, but you know, a lot of times when a sequel comes out, people are like, do I need to play the one before this to understand? Yes.
Yes.
Or you at least need to go watch a very detailed YouTube
Yeah.
video.
I even finished. So they have a comic book series, and I read the comic book before this one just in case. And I'm glad I kind of did because it actually focuses on Talana, who is like the Sunhawk. Is that her title?
I don't know.
But her story.
I know who you're talking about, and I don't remember her.
She's kind of a
title.
big side quest in this one, and they talk a little bit. That comic book starts literally at the end of Zero Dawn. Aloy runs away, like at the end of it. Like everyone's celebrating, she just kind of goes off into the distance.
Right.
Which is where this game starts. Like when her story picks back up. But between like those times is Talana's story, which is a comic book, and they finish that story in this game, which is kind of cool.
Right.
Oh, that's neat.
But to go back to Art's point, like, yeah, there's so much, I wouldn't say like callback, but there's a lot of like pertinent information from the first game that it's not even like, oh, I appreciate this more. Like, it's kind of important to know.
Well, even like right off the bat, you go into town and you're
yeah.
talking to the Sun King. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot that guy was a thing.
Well, right. No, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, like everyone in those first few hours, it's like
Yeah.
you're running into a lot of people from the previous game, but like it's not like where like other sequels where like you run into them and it's like, oh hey, I remember you. No, you're doing shit, and
Yeah.
they're constantly referencing the stuff you used to do together, and for like good reason though, like not just to
Right.
reference it, like for good reason that they're talking about it and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's like, okay, if you didn't know, like. This game would be a very difficult game, I think. Like at least initially, to like be like, okay, what's going on, and because also too of just because of everything that happened, you know, even with how not far I am in the sequel, but with everything that happened in the first one, and this just basically just picks up where that one left off, and you're still technically continuing that. It's a
Yeah.
sequel where you
Yeah.
actually are continuing that story. Even watching a video, I don't know, like it's kind of tough for at least for the major story. Like I feel like you got to go through the major story really of like, or at least like I mean, obviously watch the cutscenes like if you like a big 12-hour or whatever movie.
Right, that's what I'm
But,
saying. Like, you would need a pretty detailed YouTube video. Like,
Yeah.
even from any YouTube video, I think you get like the context of like the Sun King and Erend and Varl and you know all these smaller characters that you have a relationship with from the first game. But you could get like the overall scope of like, here's what Zero Dawn was, here's what Aloy was fighting against.
Yeah.
You know, here's where Ted Faro comes in all of it, and Faro Robotics, and here's why all the Robo dinosaurs are out creeping around.
So, I mean, a couple. Like I said, I obviously played this game right when it came out. They've already made some changes of some things like I had like gripes for this, like Aloy constantly talking.
Yeah.
Constantly
Oh my
talking.
God, that
Oh,
was
I'm
so
putting my stash,
annoying.
in my stash, my stash, my stash, my stash, my stash.
God.
Like shit, that has been cut. That has been cut down significantly. Even by the time
Oh,
I finished
that's
that
good.
game.
I would say
Thank God.
I think like right around the time I finished it, that like they like, okay, we updated this. There's less,
Oh yeah.
solo Aloy chatter. I'm like, well, that's good.
Yes.
That was
And this recent,
ridiculous.
and I think just like, in the last couple of days, they stopped the animation of you like picking things up.
Yes.
So you can just like
Every
apply,
time you
hit
pick a
triangle.
flower,
it's
you're not bending over to
So
pick
just
it up.
little
my
little things
God.
like that are even making like the open world even better.
That's good. 'Cause that always took way too long.
Yes. We haven't even talked about how just absolutely drop dead gorgeous this game is yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it absolutely is. There's been multiple ones that I just like sit and watch and like, oh man.
Yeah, it's-
Especially when you get to the point when you get further west and sun is rising over the ocean and stuff. It's like, my goodness, it is unbelievably beautiful. The detail of the characters' faces, face models.
The faces look ridiculously
They-
good.
Yes.
Yeah,
It-
especially when they
it's-
get really up close too. 'Cause
Yes.
a lot of times, like when you get like that distance shot, it's like okay, yeah, that looks amazing. But then you get closer to a character, you're like, oh, okay, that doesn't look as good anymore.
Right.
Here, no, it's even better. Like when they get close up.
It's really, really pretty, and it's a huge open world. So, like,
Yeah,
putting those
it's
two things
insane.
together, it is really, really
I'm pretty
insane.
sure like I finished the game and there's still like huge pockets of the map that have the fog of war stuff
Yeah.
over them. Like I never went there. And, like I played the game and I'm sure there's a side mission or something or a cauldron that I didn't get to that I need to, but yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of new robo dinosaurs I thought were neat.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised. I thought there'd be a lot more callbacks to the original ones, but there's a ton of new ones in
Yeah.
this one, which is really good to see. I mean, I still love I feel like this one is less of an RPG than the first one was in terms of just like managing my resources. I had so much money. There's no. I mean, you played this more recently than I did, Steak. So like, I remember like really going through like my weaves and my coils and like discarding things.
Oh,
there's like
yes.
a limit on
Oh
those
my
things,
god,
right?
that's all I would do.
Right.
Constantly was either sell or
Yeah.
just completely discard because I'm in the middle of nowhere and I have no more space for anything.
Yeah,
I hate
there's
that
there's
shit.
no
I hate
limit.
that.
There's
say-
no limit to any of those things in this game.
Yeah, I never ran into that problem. And it's like until I got like 3/4 of the way through the game, like I forgot even like, oh, I can sell these because I have 4 of this coil.
Yes.
No, right,
4
right,
of this weave.
Yeah.
I honestly I didn't even I only sold a few of my weapons honestly just to clean up my UI. So I'm like I don't want to upgrade the wrong one.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
but I had like infinite money. I
Yeah.
never sold anything. Like I didn't even like to sell the stuff that was like just for selling, like the ancient.
Oh, I sold all that crap.
I didn't need to. Like
Yeah.
I just didn't need to.
Money was tight for me for a while, but that's because I kept. There was one of the elemental ingredients I needed to keep buying.
Oh.
I think I made a good run at like upgrading my my bags appropriately so I can have more things I can hold.
Mm-hmm.
I think I also upgraded my tree correctly too because there's a couple of them where you can like use less items to craft.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I did that pretty early too. There's a lot of upgrade trees in this one too, and
That's a little
6.
overwhelming.
I think 6.
6 categories. Yeah. That sounds yeah.
That being said though too, like on top of just my pile of money and coils and everything else I had on, I had just like points. I'm like, oh, I should probably turn in these 34
Yeah.
upgrade points I had.
I'd be sitting there playing for an hour or two, and I'm like, oh, I have 14 skill points I can
Yeah.
use.
So I'm like, okay, let me go in there and
Let me knock
draw
out
those.
half a skill tree.
Right.
I like the new like boost mode that you go into. Like you pick which one of those.
Oh yeah, I
different
like that.
things.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's kind of neat. Yeah.
Yeah, I
depending
like-
on your play style.
Yep.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
That's
and there's a different one. Like I think there's a different one for each skill tree, maybe
Yep.
2 for each skill
There's
tree.
a
I'm not
couple
sure.
of them, and you can level those even after you unlock it, you can level those up to more powerful.
Yeah.
So like I automatically upgraded like the tear feature. So I'm just like I'm just tearing the machines apart before I even start like I'm gonna get. That's why I had resources up the bugs. I wouldn't even like attack them until I stripped them clean first.
Yeah.
And then I would hit them with like bombs and arrows and stuff. So I had all kinds of material all the time. What else about for Forbidden West? There's a lot I want to talk about that I can't.
Right,
obviously
right.
because
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like of the ending and how it all looks. The story did not go like I thought it was gonna go in terms of just like what that third group actually was happening with them.
Mm-hmm.
Not even close. Like I'm not even in the ballpark of what I thought was happening with them.
Yeah.
Right.
But this game does has the two things I love about open world games. You have like a base of operation that you upgrade a long time, and a group of people that you're putting together, and I just love that crap. So like, and you put those two things together and do it interestingly for both of them. Every time you go back, like you have different conversations and checking on people and see what they're doing and all, and it's just there's just so much of those things, that little piece of it where like, you know, Aloy putting, not just being just like, hey, I'll see y'all in 30 hours. You know what I mean? Like, and like there's a you know, something nice about Aloy putting together like a family type of a deal. That's all I want to say about that. But that's just like that was a nice character piece for her, I thought. I wish there were more character pieces for her. Like the whole head, heart, and fist thing, I think is just like, what do you want to say here? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well,
say whatever you want to say.
It doesn't really reflect anything, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just more like your own.
Because I remember at the end of Zero Dawn, I guess semi-spoiler for the Zero Dawn, if you haven't played it, is like all these people that you've helped a long time, like come back to help, you know, fend off the battle at Meridian. And like if you didn't do some of those, like some of those people wouldn't show up.
Right.
So like there was a trophy, and there was like a trophy I think that is like everyone showed up type of a thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I thought I was kind of getting to something like that. There's really nothing like that in this game, except for like one person I think cannot show up near the end if you make a choice. I'm positive that's the thing.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I don't think there's anything else that makes, like, I don't think there's any other real like super distinct choices that you would make.
Right. There's no consequence to any of the choices.
No, I really don't think there is. I loved all the supporting cast in this game too. All like, you know, there's so many interesting people you come across in the open world, and like the people who are closest to Aloy are super interesting in this game.
I was gonna say, I'm actually, like in the first part of this game, like I'm actually enjoying those characters more than Aloy. I mean, obviously, you guys know like that if she changes or not, but like her character just seems so blah to me, like compared to everyone else. I felt like had like way more like personality and stuff. Like it's weird. It's like where did that go from the first one? I mean, she didn't have like a lot of it in the first one, but I guess that setting it worked. Where this one, now that it's like the world's a little bit different. And I don't know, that for me, it's just like, it's not connecting as much. Like I said, the side people are great.
Yeah. That's why it feels like less of an RPG to me. Just because, like, there's no romancing or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, there's none of those things in this game. It's only an RPG because your numbers are going up and you're leveling up and you're getting new items and
right.
That's the RPG nature of it. Right. But like beyond that, it's not like a Mass Effect or something like that, where it's like you can have a drastically different story based on how you're talking to one individual or not. Like there's none of that in this.
Yeah, I almost feel like Aloy's a delivery mechanism for all those other personalities and characters. Like she's there, she's focused on her mission. Yeah, that's it. Like there's not a lot of room in that, you know, focusing on, you know, saving the world and, you know, civilization to you know, have a sense of humor and, you know.
Yeah, and there's a few points.
You Sally good times.
This isn't like, I mean, you talk a lot with your supporting characters.
A lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like
a lot.
Yeah, and like, I'm like initiating it. You know what I mean? It's like you can skip all that if you want. You just like walk right by them. But like oh, I gotta
a lot.
Yeah, I gotta talk to that exclamation point.
Yeah, that's like you go back in your base and they all have speech bubbles over their heads. I'm like, shit, I gotta go talk to.
I'm gonna talk to all of them.
Yeah, go talk.
My night.
Yeah, go, well, that's how I'd like wrap up my night before bed. I'm like, all right, I'm back at the base. These guys all want to talk. Oh, you have a full circle of things you want to talk about, and some of those things have another circle underneath them of subtopics.
Oh my God.
And that might be a mission. That might end up being a mission too. Yeah. Like with a couple of them.
That's wild.
The fuck was I gonna say? Oh, and at one point, I mean, this isn't a spoiler, but I mean, everyone knows Ross dies in the first one, and at one point, one of the characters kind of brings up Ross to Aloy, and just like. Because like Ross dies in the throes of the first game,
right?
And then you're saving the world, and then this game you're saving the world, and it's just like at no point has she gotten a chance to sit down and like process that,
right? And she's having like an existential crisis over how she became who she is compared to Elizabeth,
right?
Who she's genetically derived, reproduced from.
Yeah. So like your clone mom and your adoptive dad are like the people who like made you who you are.
Yeah.
And you don't know a whole lot about your mom. I mean, you know some about your mom because of, going to the past. We've never met her, obviously. And your adoptive dad dies saving you, and you don't get a chance to process that. And at one point, one of the characters kind of brings up like, have you like gotten a chance to like mourn Ross? She's like, I don't have time for that. And that's kind of it. And it's like, make time. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
like and I mean,
Let's
there's
actually show some emotion.
right. That's right. That's why
yeah.
like I thought I was like, oh man, we're gonna get something here, and then like, nah, we didn't. Like we're like right at the tipping point of a lot of really cool emotional things with her because I
Yeah.
think she would have a super interesting story, right? I
Right,
mean, just like
right.
for just those two reasons alone of where she came from and what she has done and what she's seen and
Yeah.
people she's talked to and brought together and you know learned about.
Well,
and you just don't get that outside of the text of
Right.
holograms and
Right.
text messages and shit like that.
Well, part of that too, like there's a like it's not there on the surface, but there's a very human aspect to that reaction to that being brought up because a lot of people in times of grief, what they do is drown themselves in whatever they can, their
Right.
kids, work,
Sure.
you know, projects and hobbies, whatever, to just
Right.
distract them from
Save the universe.
Right.
saving human civilization.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. But it would just be nice though at the same
Yeah.
time.
Right,
Let's
but I mean,
get
at some
something
point,
out
there's
more
gotta
out of
be
this character.
If that is like the conscious effort what they're doing, which does make sense. Like at some point, like there's got to be some kind of, even if you're not done with your job yet, like that has to come to some kind of a head at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like I thought there was a couple points in this game. I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm like, and then you just don't really get there. Outside of just being like her being like, oh, I don't know, this is weird.
One of the things I didn't grasp, like in Zero Dawn, that pops up in this one when they're talking about getting all the sub functions of Gaia back, you know, back together to, you know, save the ecosystem or stabilize it. When they talk about Apollo and there's no backup out there of Apollo, it never dawned on me that Ted Faro deleted all of human history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I knew like he stopped everyone from like shutting his project down and killed them all, and
Right.
then all his robots ran amok. But like I that never clicked that he deleted Apollo and all of human history.
Right. That's why you know all these people in the Horizon world are like, you know, cavemen.
Right.
Not
Well,
really,
yeah.
but you know what I mean. Like they're
Yeah,
tribal.
no,
yeah,
they're,
right.
they're,
They're all
pri-
like tribal
they're
people.
primitive
Yeah.
tribes
Yeah.
that are like, hey, we discovered fire.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But
Yep.
they have, you know, the tools of broken down machines. Like if our cavemen had like machines laying all over the place, like they would have a different existence. This is
Right,
what this
right.
is.
And that's like one of the things that's the most interesting to me is you're tying like two completely different ends of like technology and like human evolution in one world, and somehow like the tribes all understand all the machines around, but they don't know how they work, they don't know how they're made,
Right.
like any of that stuff.
And they got some really cool. There is another tribe that you meet later on in the game that has some really cool story beats when like that information kind of runs amok, because they do have some information, right? Because
Yeah.
like they find like the data logs and computers and just like Aloy did, right? It's kind of similar to that, and
Are you talking about the Quen?
yes, and how they interpret it, and the information that they're missing, and the information they are purposefully missing, and just like that whole story is very fascinating, and would have been like I wish that would have been like a DLC like 20-hour thing, just like
Yeah.
just that.
Well, also it's like their characters, because they're not from that area.
No, they're further west
Right.
somewhere, Europe or something. I don't know. Like
I think they're from China.
oh really?
I think so.
Oh well, I guess point would make some sense. I guess that would make.
But it's like their civilization values knowledge over everything else, and their warriors seem to be more advanced because of it. Which is, yeah, like you said, I wish they dug more into that than just like the quick, you meet them, you see their camp set up, you do a mission or two, and you're on your way.
Yeah, and like they're talking like in those story beats too, they're talking about back home and how they're having the same problems, but they don't have an Aloy over there, so they're
Right.
like their problems are like getting worse. So they venture off into the sea and go east to try to find like any kind of
Yeah.
answers and come across all that's happening in San Francisco and Aloy and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Also, like everyone in the world, just like, you know, there's just way more focuses than I thought there would ever be. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Aloy's like the,
Well,
yeah, like
that's the thing
Aloy's-
too. Like Aloy comes across them, and she's like, "Oh, you have a focus."
Yeah,
Like I think it's one of those things. Like much like back way before modern civilization, like all these little tribes think that the world is just it's around
Right.
them. And they
Right.
venture out further, and you find these other people, and they have the same stuff as us, and they know some of the same stuff as
Right.
us, and
yeah, but different versions of it because
Yeah.
they've gotten like, You know,
they
got different. They got an earlier piece of information.
Oh,
but you got a later piece of information.
You guys know about Ted Faro? We know about Ted Faro.
The CEO stuff is great.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good. Yeah. So, but like, also talk again. I don't think we can talk too much more about this game outside of it spoiling. But obviously, I love this game.
Yeah.
I spent a ton of time with it. There is. I cannot believe that there is not like a big DLC coming like they did with Frozen Wilds. Like that is set up. The next game is basically set up.
Yep.
And I am looking forward to getting back in there and doing whatever they throw at me next because
The next one will be the PlayStation VR 2 game.
Oh God. I forgot about that. I legitimately forgot about that.
All right, Steak, when you get a PlayStation VR 2, I need to check that game out.
We'll be on it. We'll be on it.
Oh my goodness gracious. I'm trying to think of any last minute things about Horizon. Some of the new weapons were cool. I learned how to use one of the weapons after I finished the game and did a hunting ground.
That's another thing, like the weapons and stuff. Like, there's no. This is one of those games where like there's no one way to play the game.
Oh no!
Like I never use traps. I just don't. They take
either.
too long to put down, and the
either.
enemies charge you. And
I played this
lazy.
game. I played this game completely different than I played Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of traps, and I used the rope caster to tie things down all the time.
See,
I
I
barely
I
used
used
I barely used either one in this game.
I used the rope caster a ton in the first one. I didn't use it as much in this one, partially because the first couple times I tried it, it wasn't working as well as in the first game. The first game, it was like, especially for flying enemies, like you get one tether down to the ground, and that would at least hold them in a spot for a few seconds so you can get more tethers in and they can move. This one, like I get one tether in the ground, they'd fly up, stall for like 0.2 seconds, and they're up in the air and gone.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, well, this just isn't worth my time and effort at this point.
Right.
Yeah, I had a few weird bugs with the flying robots too. Like they would drop, and then I had a couple of them drop like into the world. Like ones I had like restart a mission for a couple times. I got to a mission area that I did a bunch of times. Probably like 5-6 times got a mission done before I was supposed to because I Jimmy rigged my way up there and then made it work. And
Right.
That's why I did so much in the first game. That's
Yeah.
what everyone's talking about. Breath of the Wild's so great because you can, if you see something, you can climb it. I'm like, that's what I did in Zero Dawn. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to, but I made it. And there was one mission I activated, and I should not have been there. Like I flew from one mountain. I'm like, I bet I can make that. I bet I can make it to this area. And so I jumped off like the highest point of that mountain, and I glided, and I made it. I barely made it there. Activated the mission, but all the things that were like I was supposed to find in that area, they were not there. So I'm like, okay, this is clearly I'm clearly not supposed to be here yet. So I had to jump out of there. But I had a few times where I had to like restart missions because like my companion who was helping me fight was like on a hill, and I had to talk to him, and I couldn't talk to him because he was on a hill.
Yeah.
It was like dumb stuff like that. But I mean, it's a huge open world game. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Any other last Forbidden West thoughts here?
No.
Just gotta get back to it.
Yeah, it's
I said I didn't platinum it. I finished the campaign and I kind of stopped.
who's the guy who like finished the game and almost platinumed it?
What's that?
Who's
Andy.
the guy? Oh, that makes sense.
Like
We both like scratch around edges.
Well,
when we play games.
like he said the same thing. Is like I just went around and played the game. I was doing side missions and stuff as I went, and then I got to the end and I had like 2 trophies. It took me half an hour.
Yeah, and it was like if I would have done the hunting ground, it was a hunting ground, and then like one more thing I had to do.
That's the thing. I didn't do any of the hunting grounds. I didn't enjoy those in the first game, and I
say,
don't think I'm
I-
gonna enjoy them in
yeah.
this game.
I learned how to do two. I learned how to use 2 weapons in the hunting grounds at the very end of the game. Like, oh well. All right. Oof.
Yeah.
Steak is coming out next couple weeks.
Thankfully, not much.
I got a lot of WWE to do.
April 27th, Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt is finally coming out.
Yeah.
PC and PS5. That's the Battle Royale
Yep.
one.
You know, in WWE, there's a big ladder and then a bigger ladder that you can like bridge from like the table to the ring and like slam people through. Jesus.
You can light it on fire too.
Yeah, you can. you can also collapse the ring if you have 2 big guys go off the top rope.
All right, where's this going? So you had me at you could start a fire.
Yes.
That's what I need to teach my kid.
I've seen that, but I haven't done it yet.
I haven't done. I see it. Yeah, I haven't done it yet either. On April 28th, Bug Snacks,
Oh yeah.
PC, Switch, and Xbox.
And the Isle of Big Snacks is coming out with that too,
That's
like
right.
the free DLC with big bugs.
PlayStation Plus games for April. Yeah, that's the month, right? Hood, Outlaws, and Legends for PS5. SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini Bottom, Rehydrated for PS4. And Slay the Spire for PS4.
Slay the Spire, so good.
Yeah, you like that game. I knew someone. Yeah, it was you
It's
who
a
liked that
it's a
game.
really good game, especially if you have like just a little bit of time to kill and you don't want to like jump into like a game that's going to take more time. You can jump in there and play for a while, and you build your deck, and sometimes it takes you die in a couple of rounds. Sometimes you're sitting there for a while, building your deck and going on, and
Nice.
it's I really like that game.
Nice.
I think that was a Game Pass game when I first
Yeah, it
played
was,
it.
I think it's still on Game Pass.
I think it is. I was going to say, I think it still is on there. Xbox games with gold. Another site could be downloaded until April 30th. Hue, starting on April 16th through May 15th. And MX versus ATV Alive from April 16th through the 30th. And our Game Pass stuff. Let's get that loaded up here. All right. MLB The Show 22, do not forget, is on Game Pass.
Yeah, I downloaded that. I haven't checked it out yet.
I played a lot of it last year. I don't know if I can play it this year.
I want to like at least do one of the March to October things.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The White Sox are fun to play with now, so
There you go.
do that.
That's true.
I can
The
not,
Cubs are not. Sometimes I'm out.
I can not panic and feel the need to trade for a starting pitcher because guys are out for 3 weeks.
China Detective Agency for Cloud Console and PC on the 7th.
I'm gonna be playing that game. That is.
That looks really good.
That is.
looks really
that
good.
looks really awesome.
What game is that?
China Detective Agency.
Sounds
It-
like a Mike game.
It is inspired by old school Carmen Sandiego.
Oh,
So, but not only that. So like you're playing the
Point and
game.
click and everything.
Yes, it's a point and click, and you're moving around, and you're talking, and there's like I guess it actually is like semi time dependent too. So if you're like messing around too much, like you'll be like, well, you failed this case or whatever. But like there's actually things that you need to look up like in the real world. Like I'm like there'll be like a,
does it come with a World Almanac like the Carmen Sandiego PC game?
I guarantee you if there's a physical version of it, would have.
Yeah,
Like, but
yeah.
we all have one now in
Yeah,
the supercomputers
in
in
the palm
our
of our
yeah,
hand.
exactly.
That's right.
So like yeah, it'd be like
I want my goddamn 1991 World Almanac that I have with Carmen Sandiego.
it'll be
Yeah,
like
and it had a red cover.
It was open. We had to like he's like it'll be like this the code to unlock this thing is from it's the author of a book with the quote in it, and you put the quote in there and you like actually hunt on Google to find like the author. It looks pretty neat. It's actually it's like very voice acted, unless like you're doing like I guess inner monologue that is like
Right.
text.
Yeah.
But it looks super interesting.
It does. No, it looks cool.
Or it's on Game Pass.
No, I'm not. I'm looking up the 1991 World Almanac.
Nice.
Because now I feel the need to buy that and put it in my office as like the most obscure video game reference ever.
In my, I have 2 books on my bookshelf that are video game reference. I have the Return of the Obra Dinn limited run,
yeah.
and then right next to it, I bought it's just a journal, but it's the Mist book. So it just says Mist on the spine of it.
Nice.
So
That's awesome.
I have 2 nerd books.
Nice. I like it.
There it is.
Let's see what else. we
Sorry.
got here.
I called it with the red. I had to look it up. I'm like, if I have the year right, that cover's gonna be red.
That's right.
Burned in my brain. Probably got thrown out when I moved at some point.
Life is Strange, True Colors. It's Cloud Console and PC, April 12th.
That game is fucking awesome. Play that game.
Another game that looks kind of interesting. This Lost in Random.
Yes.
Cloud Console and PC coming on April 14th. It says there's an action adventure game where every citizen's fate is determined by the roll of a dice. Looks
Like
pretty interesting.
it's like you move around in 3D space and like I think like your actions and attacks are all like dice rolls and you get different kinds of dice as you go along. It looked interesting. I remember it at some EA type event.
Yeah. Then also leaving on April 15th, MLB The Show 21 is leaving.
But why?
Makes sense.
Yep. Rain on Your Parade, The
Oh,
Long Dark, Pathway, and on April 18th, F1 2019.
It's time for the news. for having been gone for like 2 months, it's surprisingly little news.
There's a lot. I mean,
There's,
there's
Well, there's probably a lot of stuff.
I say I just focused on like interesting things.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, because I mean, we had a terrible state of play in there. We had what I thought was one of the better Nintendo Directs in there. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that did happen in these last couple of months.
I don't
aspects.
I don't talk about Nintendo Directs. That's your territory. All right, I'll start small and work up to big here. There's a release date for Gotham Knights, October 25th.
Yes.
Happy
Maybe.
birthday, Mike.
Maybe.
Yes.
There's a release date.
I want it.
Me too. I could play Red Hood.
That's fine. I'm Batgirl.
That's fine.
They announced a new Tomb Raider and Kingdom Hearts 4. Has something to do with Unreal Engine 5. I didn't put that note in there.
I put that note in there. Yeah, the Unreal 5.
They released
5.
they released a list of games that are being developed with Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah,
a
it's like-
shit ton,
they
including
had, like-
PlayStation VR too.
Yes, they had a show, and they like, here's a bunch of things, including a new Tomb Raider. Like, oh, cool, awesome.
Yeah.
And I guess they're talking about that's going to bridge the new games and the old games in some way,
Yep.
shape, or form.
That's what they're saying.
I don't know what that means. I don't know. I haven't played. I don't know what it is about the current generation of Tomb Raider games, but I played them like 6 years later. Like so I'm not quite there yet with Shadow yet, but I played the first two. I liked them both. I like both those games a
Shadow's
lot.
the best one of all.
Oh, really?
Of all of
Oh,
them.
man.
Shadow's incredible.
I think I own that like 5 times over.
And yeah, the Kingdom Hearts 4 reveal was fantastic, and it's funny because the Kingdom Hearts 4 reveal was done in Unreal Engine 4, but the game is going to be in Unreal Engine 5.
Correct.
So that already looked bonkers. So it is going to be just
Yeah, like 6 years to wait on that one.
Oh, minimum. I start the over under at 6 years. They even claimed it's super early in development.
yeah.
They even said so.
What comes out first, that or Final Fantasy VII Remake version 2, Disc 2,
Oh my
Disc
god.
2.
Part 2?
Disc 2.
Disc 2 has to. If it doesn't, there's some serious.
Was that on the
issues
list
there.
of Unreal Engine 5 games?
Oh my god!
was not.
Also,
Then that's why.
That's got to be next.
that list is undefeated, as far as I can tell.
Okay. Next. Remedy and Rockstar are working together to release a Max Payne 1 and 2 remake.
Yes!
By work together, we mean Rockstar is asking Remedy to make Max Payne 1 and 2 remake, which I'm okay
That's
with.
the way to do it.
Yes.
That's the way to do it, Rockstar.
In the control engine.
Yeah.
We don't
Oh,
need you to do your GTA Definitive Edition version. I want this version of Max Payne. I want it actually redone.
Yes. Man,
Yes.
That's gonna be awesome.
I am super
Those games
down.
are so good.
Yes, and
So good.
I'm just so down for anything Remedy does at this
I
point.
was gonna say I've never played any of the Max Payne games.
Oh
I've
my
seen
God.
them. I've
You're in
heard
for a
about them,
treat.
but yeah,
Never played 3.
Remedy has my attention.
Whew, man. 3 is a departure from 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is just like super gritty. Like
Yeah.
3 has a little bit of that in it, but it's telling a very different story. I liked 3 a lot. It's very, very cinematic in
Yeah.
how it was. I loved the multiplayer of 3 a lot, which is like one of those things. Like if I can go back and like have servers be on and people care about a game, I think that would be one of them I would
Nice.
really want to play again because that was so much fun. I don't know how they managed to get like everyone can go into bullet time at any time, and like I don't know how. I just don't know how that works. But the game was very, very good. And the first 2 were
The first year was so awesome.
yeah, the
They're
first
so
2
good.
are great games. So I'm very interested to see how they alter that for
Yeah.
modern times with a modern look. Hopefully, they still have the same crazy face.
Oh,
And-
100%. It's gonna be even more messed up. Unreal 5 engine. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, photorealistic grimace the entire time.
This is from like 2 days after we recorded last time, but so it's really old news, but worth mentioning. Microsoft's confirmed that Activision Blizzard will continue to release games on PlayStation beyond their existing agreements. The president of Activision Blizzard said, to be clear, Microsoft will continue to make Call of Duty and other popular Activision Blizzard titles available on PlayStation through the term of any existing agreements with Activision. We've committed to Sony that we will make them available on PlayStation beyond the existing agreement and into the future so that Sony fans can continue to enjoy the games they love. The interesting note here before that quote is that in a piece published to explain how the company will adapt to gain regulatory approval for its takeover. So maybe they're trying to avoid antitrust by...
Which doesn't make sense.
until it clears, and then I call bullshit.
Oh, yeah, and like,
You think the SEC wouldn't go back after them? They would love to take Microsoft's money.
this also feels
I
like
don't know. I don't know if they would.
this also feels like we're gonna have Call of Duty Warzone on PlayStation forever.
Yeah,
So,
it's take it with a grain of salt. I'll believe it when I see it because
Well,
they've been saying one thing all the way up until now. Now they're saying something different. Pick a lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear too. I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, the Call of Duty people will go back to Xbox though because Xbox will be getting everything first again,
Right.
just like the 360 era,
And the
where everyone
and the
played Call of Duty
betas
there,
and like all that and like the play tests.
So yeah, you're gonna get the game, but you know what? You remember when PlayStation had that mode for a whole 2 years before Xbox even got it? Yeah, we might not even give you that mode anymore. You have to go on Xbox to play this mode. Period. But you can have the campaign for 4 hours.
So I'm honestly not that worried about it.
I mean, it's just.
From a personal perspective, I if I never play an online Call of Duty game again, I'll be perfectly happy.
Yeah. Actually, it's your saving grace, right?
Okay, and the last news story here. PlayStation announced their revamp of PlayStation Plus to compete with Game Pass, I guess.
Maybe.
So they're gonna have 4 tiers, 3 tiers, 3 tiers.
Three.
3 tiers. There's going to be PlayStation Plus Essential, PlayStation Plus Extra, and PlayStation Plus Premium. I scrolled too far. PlayStation Plus Essential is the lowest of the tiers. It provides the same benefits as the current PlayStation Plus. The price for that will be $10 monthly, $25 quarterly, or $60 per year. So isn't that basically the same thing they have now?
It is 100%. It is 100%.
It is what it is now. Yeah.
PlayStation Plus Extra will include everything in the Essential tier and adds a catalog of up to 400 PS4 and PS5 games.
I hate that wording.
Yeah.
Up to.
Yeah.
So we get one.
Hey, Sony loves it.
We give you one game
Yeah.
up to 400.
We promise.
Look at how much you have in Plus already. You get all those games.
Yeah.
That'll be $15 monthly, $40 quarterly, $100 a year. Those games are downloadable for play, by the way. PlayStation Plus Premium provides everything from Essential and Extra, adds up to 340 additional games, including PS3 games available via cloud streaming, catalog of classic games available in both streaming and download from PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PSP generations, cloud streaming access for PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PSP, PS4 games. Those are the games offered in the Extra tier. And time-limited game trials. That is $18 monthly, $50 quarterly, and $120 a year. In my opinion, this really means fuck all until they give us a list of games.
Yeah, and this is like exactly what was rumored. Like this is like almost to a T what was talked about 2 months before this actually officially got announced.
Yeah.
So that kind of took a little sting out of this, I think, as well. But yeah, I totally agree. Like, what games are we talking about here?
Yeah,
I mean,
right, exactly.
What games are we talking about? What's your timeline for first-party games? We know they're not coming day and date, but what is it, 6 months? A year?
Yeah, because they already talked about some of the games that are going to be coming out on the middle tier with, like, you know, it's going to launch with, like, well, it may not launch with it, but it's going to have, like, Returnal on there. It's going to have Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales on there. So it's going to have, like, games that came out, you know, a year to a year and a half.
Yep.
You know, prior is going to be on these services. So maybe like that's what the cadence is going to be.
And I mean,
they also didn't talk about Ratchet and Clank, I don't think, right?
I don't think they mentioned Ratchet.
It's yeah. I mean, I by no means expect them to do the day and date thing that Xbox is doing. I think it's absolutely insane that Xbox is doing that. I also think Sony relies more on the sales of their first party games, and I think the quality of Sony's first party games, to be perfectly honest, is much higher than what Xbox has put out to date.
Would also agree.
That may change once Bethesda starts dropping stuff, but I mean that's kind of the keystone of their whole PlayStation brand is, you know, first party single player games. So I didn't expect them to give that away with this.
No, I agree.
But I mean, I feel like they need to have some type of plan laid out for like when these are going to be available.
They won't though.
I don't think I think it's going to be based on how popular it is, how a game is for one, 2, are they going to plan on bringing those games to PC as well? So like, if let's say this, this was around when God of War came out. Like, there's no way it's still on the service now. Well, I guess it's sort of on PlayStation now though, but that was also like briefly before the PC came out.
It was only
like for 3 months or something.
Right.
Like that.
It was very quick. Yeah, they weren't on there very long.
So I mean, I don't know. Like, those are their cash cows.
Right.
But like a game is like not as great. Like say if another, I mean, Concrete Genie didn't do a ton for them.
Right.
Maybe that comes out 8 months after it comes out. Yeah, who knows? And that's not going to show up on PC.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think it's odd, like, to announce this, like, and saying it's coming in June, which is still, it's quite a bit of ways away, starting to like come out in June, and that's all you give us is this information, pricing and what you get, but we don't even know what we get.
Yeah, so it's not like we're pre-ordering something here either.
Right.
It's not like, oh, buy this peripheral and this dongle can be played anywhere. Like, you buy this dongle and it has, put it into a TV. And there's none of that type. There's no, why are you telling me this?
That's it. Right, because like when Xbox launched Game Pass, it was day and date.
Right.
Like, they announced it and they were like, oh yeah, you can go convert your account right now for $1. Go.
Yep. Right.
And then you get access to everything. Like, it's like Sony, you kind of missed the ball on doing something similar like that, or why we're still so many months out? Like, why didn't you wait till like if your plan is like the middle of June, why don't you say like, oh, in the middle of like at the end of May, be like, hey, starting in June, and everyone's like, oh wow, that's a week away. June's a week away.
Right.
Okay, this is coming, and you already by that time you know what's going to be on the service. They probably don't even know what half the shit's going to be on the service yet.
Also, outside of the things that they own, like, you know what I mean? Like, what else is it going to be?
Are they going to get? Because those require contracts and all that kind of shit. So, I don't know.
Yeah, and like, PlayStation Now is going away. So if you have that service already, and it's all being converted over to the extra version,
to the
which is like the
premium.
middle tier.
No, the premium.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're getting premium, not. That's why when it was on sale for $60 the other day, everyone went bonkers because they were going to not charge you an updated price. They were just going to convert you for the same amount of time.
Okay.
But that's the thing too. Like, look at look how Microsoft did it. So if you had Xbox Live Gold and you upgraded to the Ultimate Game Pass, that equivalent into a certain amount of time,
right?
Because of how much time you had. So me as a PlayStation Plus member, mine doesn't expire until August. So it's like, okay, if I convert, like, that should add time to what I have because of like I was already paying for Plus. But now I'm upgrading.
But you get, so I don't, they didn't talk about that at all.
They didn't talk about anything like that.
So like,
who knows if they're even doing
am I just paying the difference? Like,
right.
Can I be like, all right, well, and it's one of those things like, all right, I have paid up till August of 2024. Like, just because I have something stupidly like that. So like, all right, that means you have the equivalent of $200 of subscription. You can trade that $200 into 9 months of premium tier, whatever that math turns out to be.
Right.
Like if it ends up being like a straight, if it ends up being like a straight conversion, okay, then that's what I would have paid for anyway. But there's not even talking about that,
no.
So I have no idea what that means for my current subscription, which I've already paid for.
Yep.
I think the PSP games are cool. I think that's something I didn't anticipate getting, like PSP games, which Vita games would be included. I understand why some of them are not, but a lot of them could be.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why. And they've already been.
Those have fucking trophies.
Right.
It'd be nice to get some trophies.
And I guess there's already been reports talking about like how they're trying to figure out how to get PlayStation 3 games to run natively on.
Please,
dude,
to download.
How is this still a problem? I have a PS3 emulator on my goddamn computer that runs most games fine.
Exactly.
Right. 100%. Like that's like why.
Oh my god.
I don't know how.
Terrible.
I can understand like not being able to put like a PlayStation 3 game into the PlayStation 5 and having that work. Like I can I can wrap my mind around that, but I cannot wrap my mind around how you cannot have this supercomputer play something from 15 fucking years ago.
By the way, my PS5 is a much stronger computer than my desktop computer upstairs at this point.
Yeah, that just makes absolutely no sense still. Like, why are we still cloud? Like, that's just putting no fucking effort.
And
it's just keeping what they have for PlayStation Now, basically.
And here's the thing, though. Like, are they holding out till they can get something that plays everything? Why not just put something out that plays 75% of the games?
Yeah.
That would make so many people happy.
Yeah.
Well, they already had that. I mean, with the PlayStation Now, there's a bunch of games that you can only stream.
Right.
I don't think I don't think you can download all the PlayStation 4 games.
No, you can't.
So
Yeah.
like that's already kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
like that's already kind of an expectation, and I think that will be fine with people. But yeah, like I said, I mean, there's no
I can't make any judgment. I
Right.
don't know anything.
Right.
Like, so, like, right now, to me, the pricing's like, even the pricing, it's just like, okay, well,
The
I
pri-
don't know. I can't respond to the pricing.
yeah, the
on
pricing
this.
I don't think is crazy based on if you're going off of like what Game Pass cost you in the same
Sure.
time, but you are getting less, and we don't know because we're getting less and not getting those first party day and date games.
Right.
But we also don't know what we are getting. So like I don't know how to make a value proposition there. And I don't even know, again, like I said before, like I don't know how my current subscription translates into this. I was probably like, do you want to just upgrade this for $8 every single month for eternity? Or is it just like, can I just pay you a flat fee with, I mean, I have no idea because no one said anything.
Well, the thing to me, it should be the way the Microsoft did it, where it converts. Like, okay, so it's like, okay, if you have the basic,
Yeah.
let's say you have the basic for 2 years, right? So that's $120. Well, that translates into 1 year of premium. Like, okay, like if I want to make that upgrade, let me make that upgrade.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but like you said, we have no freaking clue if they even have an idea of doing something like this. Like, we don't know.
Also, like, how many demos am I getting with this premium tier?
Yeah. What is that? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a time limited thing to talk about.
You're right. I mean, because no one really says.
Like, am I getting one every 6 months? Because that would suck.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that feels like the first, like that feels like them. Like if I were to guess, it would be like the AAA third party games that they're not going to get on the service are going to get like a time demo. Their first party games, I think, would also get that time demo. But I would think like it's going to be like 2 hours or something like that.
Oh, at the most.
And then maybe
Yeah.
like a discount afterwards because you have the service.
Is
Like,
it's like, is it gonna even be worth? Like, I don't know if it's even necessarily gonna be worth it. Like, because I mean, first party, especially when it comes to Sony's first party games. Because right now, like, I mean, sure, they could still come out like something like Returnal. Fine, that was a brand
Yeah.
new one. Like, I could see something like that working out. But they have so many established IPs right now that like people are not gonna care if there's a time. They're gonna buy it.
right.
Like if you're telling me there's a time
Well,
demo for
well-
Spider-Man 2, I don't care. I'm already buying it.
Right.
Like,
Well, that's why they're not giving it to you for free.
Right,
So I mean,
yeah.
they know that.
So it's like, so it's also like, so it's one of those where it's like, okay, so that's not for me. Like in terms of like the price, like that's not even like a factor, like in any of this for me. Like, 'cause I just think it's just gonna be a throwaway for that. Like, it's not like how it was when PlayStation Plus very first started. Because I remember the reason why I subscribed to PlayStation Plus back in the day was to get the Mortal Kombat 9 demo, because that was like 4 months before the I think before it was even coming out, and it was like, oh, this is the way to play the demo. I want to play Mortal Kombat 9 now. So like that was a way to do it, but like I don't know, it's just I don't see that like kind of the same thing. I don't know.
But we don't. Well, ultimately, like when they finally announced this, I was like, no. There's like, all right, cool. This is finally getting announced, and it was just. It was a meh event because
Right.
it was no new information because it was just confirming. It was like confirming previous rumors.
That's
And
all it was. Like,
did.
hey, we have something coming to compete with Game Pass in theory.
And I don't even want to say it's competing with Game Pass. I just feel like
Here-
it's like an adjacent PlayStation.
Here's my
Game Pass
question.
like.
Here's comparing it to Game Pass. Here's my biggest question: are they releasing MLB The Show on their day and date now?
That's a
They fucking
dude,
better.
That is the first
See,
thing I thought of too.
Okay, but and here's the thing, like that would be the perfect thing to announce, like with this, like
Well,
you know,
not if it's
as
not
an-
going to be out
as
for
an
the release of
exam-
MLB this year.
As an example, like I mean, I don't know. I mean, they can even say though right now that like, hey, this is going to be on the service.
That just
day
stops
one.
people from buying it, though.
True. I mean, that is true. I don't know. It's just that's so crazy.
Like if
I
they're
don't know,
if they're
it's
gonna
just
sit there and granted,
You're right, though.
it's not their call. It's MLB's call as the publisher of that game.
yeah,
Like I feel like that's like the bare minimum they have to do
yeah.
because they absolutely have control over that.
Yeah, I thought of MLB The Show too when this was all going on, when this was all starting. Like, what's that? What? That's still like just mind blowing.
If it's not, I mean, that would be insane. But like the fact that you can get a quote unquote free $70 MLB game on Xbox
Right.
that's made by PlayStation,
Yeah.
but you have to pay $70 to get it on PS5.
It almost is like they would have to be like, make a blanket statement that no first party games are going to be on this day and date, no matter what. Like, if you're not going to put that game on there, then that has to be like that has to be. I think that's you making a statement, being like, that's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So don't have that expectation. Stop asking us. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. So, but then if you put MLB The Show on the day and date, okay, well, why not this game? Why not this game?
Because that game's not free on Xbox in their subscription package.
Yet.
Well, I don't know. Oh man. Yeah, I'm like I said, like I'm interested to see where this goes, but I'm not like day one. Here's my credit card.
No, not like how it was for Game Pass. I went over, I paid that $1, and I converted it instantly.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you're already committed to this much. Actually, I went out and bought more Xbox Live Gold, uploaded it, and then paid the $1.
Yep.
Me too.
Yep.
I think I went out and bought like 2 or 3 years worth.
Yep. Exactly.
But I mean, they told you, they give you some idea what was coming. Like until I get a list of games, like this is like okay, you're doing a thing.
Yeah.
People can't see me, but I'm shrugging.
The opposite of that, because Microsoft didn't stop that for anyone from doing that. PlayStation pulls the 12 months of PlayStation Now off. You can't even buy 12 months anymore.
If you find one, if someone
find
like
a card somewhere,
but if you find it, like, you can't just redeem it. It'll say like the code doesn't work. You got to call into like the Sony like customer service.
Oh my God.
And even then, it becomes like a thing.
Yeah, Jesus.
So
like, that's ridiculous. Like, oh, that's crazy. Like, I mean, to me, it's like, okay, why don't you just have it to where you could stack it like 2 years, like put an actual limit on it that you could, because then if people do it for now, like, okay,
pretty sure I have 2.5 years of PlayStation Plus queued up.
But at least like then they'll have like you'll get the initialness like of that, they'll have it, and then they can see, because like, and also a lot of people too, they're buying this who aren't current PlayStation Now members, so they can get that aspect. You're still getting more money out of these people that you didn't get before, because I mean, people would be more inclined to like start it at $60 to see if they want it, and if they want to keep it, then they'll pay the $120. Like, I think there's more of that. Like,
yeah, but I don't think a single person bought PlayStation Plus after this announcement. Because of this announcement.
I wouldn't. Like,
why would you?
Why would I have a PlayStation Plus? There's no reason.
You already got it and you're waiting to see what happens, or you don't have it and you're gonna wait and see what happens. Like, there's no there's no. I just don't know what this was.
I saw it on sale recently, because like mine always expires in August, and I always forget, and I always and I saw the discount card was on sale, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing that right now, because like, what's the point? Like, I need to figure out. I need to know what their plan is.
Like, even if they could have just put out a list of like, here's 20 games we're gonna have on here.
Small something.
Just
like,
just to give you an idea of the quality of games.
They mentioned a few of the PlayStation 5 games, but I think the classics are like the interesting, and that's also tied to your highest tier of this.
Right.
So like, if you're trying to sell the highest tier of this, like, put something out there. Like, hey, put anything.
This is
there.
The only way you currently have for me to play PlayStation 3 games on anything other than a PlayStation 3. Throw me a couple of the games you're going to make available.
Here's 5 games that you could only play on PlayStation 3 that will be on there. Like, I mean, that kind of like that. Like, yeah.
Or current PlayStation Plus members will have access to PlayStation Now until this thing launches. Or just to get a taste of the streaming. Or just like something. Anything. Anything as opposed to nothing, which is what this announcement basically was for me.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, so there was a lot of hype around like, oh, the announcement's coming. And they announced it. I'm like, what are the games? I'm glad you want to tell me how much of my money you want.
I mean, it was basically an announcement of an announcement.
It was just confirming. It was just confirming the rumors.
Yeah.
Right. That was all it was. Like, they could come up and be like, "Hey, everything here was true about Spartacus," and then that would have been it. That would have been. There's no new information on here. Again, outside of a couple of games that they showed, they're like, "Yes, this is coming to the service." But even then, it wasn't like day one. It wasn't like eventually they're going to be on the service. No one knows.
Here was launch PS5.
There will be up to 400 games,
which tells me nothing.
Tells you there won't be 401.
Well, it also
tells you there was going to be more than one and less than 400.
And one. See, and that's my problem too. Why are you already limiting the amount of games on there? Like, why would you even say that? Like, I don't know. Like, up to this amount.
Is that like the total count of the catalog of games of PlayStation 3 and PSP?
No, God, no. Like, PlayStation 1 alone has like over 1,000 games.
That's...
I mean,
yeah, that's not even including like regional ones.
I just don't understand like why you would even like kind of like even say that. It's just like, hey, there's gonna be games from here. Like, don't know.
Maybe they like. All right, we're
Maybe
gonna.
they mean like minimum at a time,
Or
like
they
that
eliminated like all right everything with these licenses
Yeah,
we're never
all
gonna
licensed
get. All right,
games are gone.
delete all these and then like all right we've been left with up to 400 games. Like I don't know. Like
I
it
don't know.
doesn't make any sense.
It's just-
We're left with a list of 400 games. Do we even know we can emulate those? No. Up to 400.
Up to 400 games.
we haven't tested them yet.
Best case scenario, we emulate them all. Worst case scenario, we emulate one.
Either
I'm
way we
still whole.
yeah exactly.
Either way, we fulfilled our promise.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
All right, well I guess we'll see in June.
Maybe.
The hell all this thing. All right. So we've been bookending our episodes when we have them. Thanks again for joining us. It's been a while. With we are
Every 8 weeks.
compiling. It's a new rhythm. We've been compiling a list of our 100 favorite games collectively. We all been coming up with like bringing 10 at a time, 10 at a time, 10 at a time. But we are only talking about it in the last 15 minutes of the episode. This hasn't really been a problem yet, but we're getting into the point where Art's going to give his 10 that he owes us.
Well, maybe.
Or maybe giving us a 10 he owes us.
If you can pull up the list where I added those 10, yeah, I'll give them to you. I cannot pull up the list. The list I pulled up cuts off at like 70-something.
Huh.
I don't know why. I'm pulling it up from Google Drive.
I don't know why.
The
I
last
can't
number I
use
see
Google
is 78.
Drive. Okay. Everyone, hold on.
I've been sitting here fiddling with this while we've been talking about PlayStation Plus, and I'm like, well, this ain't working. I don't know how this last segment's going to go.
That's my drive. I need the sticks drive. Favorite 100. Yeah, I got up to 88. So what's the last one you see on there, Art?
It was 78, whatever that was.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
I believe
All right.
So.
Here is Art's last 10. But before we even start the time, because that's not fair.
Here, give me the list. I'll go off them and I'll.
79.
I'll
You gotta explain that first one to me, by the way.
Oh, okay, yeah. So all right, 70. I'm sorry, timer.
No, this is before, because this is from the previous one. I'll start a 15-minute timer.
That's fine.
And when that's over.
So NHL 22. I thought about putting like NHL 96 on here, which is the best of the older ones. But I don't. Those aren't. The gameplay isn't as good as the new ones. So I just put the most recent new one on there. The gameplay's been the same in the NHL series for the past like 8 years. So, the most recent one, most recent rosters, you got the expansion crap in there with Seattle. So that's why I put 22. It's not. It's a great game. I want a hockey game, an NHL hockey game. I don't think the gameplay in the old ones really holds up.
Fair enough.
The fighting holds up. The fighting's great in the old
Oh,
ones.
it really is.
The gameplay, Next one I have is Uncharted 4. That's the best of the Uncharted series. I don't care what anyone else says. I have the Hitman trilogy on here. I put that as a single game since it is released as a single game on Game Pass.
I'll allow it.
Suck it, everyone. Mike, did you ever get around to playing that or downloading it or anything? Oh, you suck.
91 hours of
Yeah.
Horizon.
Yeah. And how many hours simulating a basketball team?
A lot. But I'm not doing that. I can't play Hitman while I do that.
I was saying, in all fairness, you said you have the games playing out on TV while you're diddling around, whatever. No, those are. I thoroughly enjoy those games. If you listen to anything I've said about them over the past, how many years we've been doing this, I don't know. Papers, Please. Fantastic
Yes.
PC game.
Yes.
It's like, honestly, it's what, like comparing two pictures and see if they match up. Like, as it increases, if you go through further, it increases in difficulty. You have to match up more.
All wrapped around like a crazy story.
A crazy story about a Western European bloc country border control. It's
Multiple endings.
yeah. There's like 20 endings.
Yeah. The better you do, the more rations you get for your family. The worse you do, the less rations you get for your family.
Yeah, but you can you get paid every day for how many people you put through the gate. You can put more people through, and maybe it doesn't get caught, and you get a little bit more money. People offer you bribes.
And maybe one of those people you let through sets off
a
a
suicide
bomb.
bomber.
Yeah, who knows?
You get your money and you dole it out between your family. So some days your family's eating good, some days they're not eating as good. Some days everyone's getting their medicine, some days they're not. You get approached with offers to flee the country, but you have to buy fake passports. So that cuts into your money. You got to save up money to buy those fake passports. It's
so good.
There's so much in what on the surface looks like such a simple game.
It's so good.
It is. I've college football revamped on here. That is the college football game I've been playing on my PlayStation 3 emulator. It is NCAA 14 modded with current players.
Love it.
It's fantastic.
Love it.
Until EA wants to give me an actual college game, it's fantastic.
Even when they give it to you, I don't think I want
I was
it.
going to say right now, I don't know if I want it.
I have Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus on here.
Yes.
Fantastic game.
Good pick.
GTA 5 because I need to have a GTA game on here. And I mean, I once 5 came out, 4 immediately felt kind of antiquated just in the controls. They re-released 3 and San Andreas, and none of those felt great. Nobody wants to play the top-down ones. You did it. It was a place and time type thing. When they first came out, they were controversial. You wanted to play them. They're not great games. Mario Golf from the N64 in here.
Which just showed up on Nintendo Online.
Yeah, I heard. I'm glad they finally have a good Mario Golf game on the Switch. Give me some 3-click golf, and that one was fantastic. They had the challenge modes in there where you got to get your shots through the rings and
mini golf.
Yeah, mini golf. They got the versus mode where you play to unlock more characters, and
I played that game a lot.
I put Assassin's Creed Brotherhood on here. Of the Assassin's Creed games I've played, that is my favorite.
Story was awesome.
Yeah, I know a lot of people had great things to say about 2. I don't remember what the one after that was. Was it Revelations or something?
Yeah, it didn't reveal anything.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, Revelations, which it was Assassin's Creed with a tower defense minigame that no one wanted to play.
Oh.
And the last one I have in there is the game that has consumed more time than any other game in my life, Rainbow Six Siege. Because of, why not hate your life?
Well, how can you not put that on there too when you spent that much time on there?
I know that game has the highest of highs and the lowest of lows for me. I mean, when that game's going good, it's fun. When that game's not going good and you're running into cheaters, it is just a kick in the balls. So yes, those were my last 10 I added.
All right. That brings us to 88. The assignment today,
yes,
was to look through this list,
yes,
and bring to the table anything that is not on this list that you think should be on this list.
Oops.
God damn it, Steak.
So something.
I've been in Vegas the last 2 days.
All right.
You've had 2 months.
And you've had 2 months.
In all fairness,
I don't remember what was going on.
In all fairness, I glanced over the list earlier today. I have one on the top of my mind, which I've never personally.
I got one for sure.
I've never personally played. Mike, you can vouch for this. Steak, I don't know if you can.
I'm starting at 15 minutes right now.
Do it.
Okay. Do we have any Half-Life games on here?
I don't think we do.
All right. Before y'all
I
talk,
don't see one on here.
Here's a list of games I would like to add.
All right. Would you just cut me off? I'm just asking a question.
Well, you have one. I have a lot. Steak has one. I have a lot. I'm taking this time.
So
the
you should
floor
go
is
to
mine.
You should go to the end. We have one.
Go ahead. Half-Life what?
I don't know. I said I deferred this to you. You've played them. I haven't.
I mean, it would be Half-Life 2.
I mean, yeah, it would definitely be Half-Life 2.
I'm totally fine with
Not
that.
Half-Life Alex.
Never.
I haven't played it.
Never played it.
It's supposed to be fantastic, but I haven't played it.
I've also never played it.
Say, what's your number? What's your one that you?
I want to add Moss 2, Book 2.
All right.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it because I think I never put the first Moss on there, and this one I
don't think so.
So far it's been
Yeah, I don't
better.
think so.
So yeah, it's just excellent.
All right. Here's the ones I'm adding on. Heavy Rain. We haven't said Tales from the Borderlands, which is shocking.
We haven't.
No, I looked at the list.
I haven't.
I don't believe you. I really don't believe you have.
I guess I don't. I guess I haven't.
So
I'm looking here again just to make sure.
Death and Return of Superman, Super Nintendo game. I played that a lot. Absolutely love that. That's also the comic book that got me into comic books, was Death Superman. Like many people of our generation.
Yeah, no Tales from Borderlands. Fuck me.
Now it's on there. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time.
Oh yes, of course.
I played
Classic.
that. We went to vacation recently, and they had in the Airbnb we were staying had the 1-up machine of Turtles in Time. Definitely played that for a while. Tekken 3, the one I spent the most time with was Tekken 3.
Tekken 3 is so good.
That
good.
was one of those things like I played. That's like probably the fighting game I played the most in the one version of. I think I played Mortal Kombat the most collectively.
Yeah.
But Tekken 3 is probably the singular game I played the most.
God, it's so good.
Legend of Zelda Wind Waker not on this list for some reason, which is like my favorite Zelda game.
I mean, you put Ocarina of Time on here. One of you did.
I did. I think I did because that was always on my.
Did you put Ocarina of Time on here, but not your favorite one?
I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay.
I mean, I guess I didn't put Tales from the Borderlands on here, so we all make mistakes.
Ultimately, I put it on here. Mario Party 6 was my favorite of the Mario Parties. I just had a close. That was like my freshman year of college. That came out, and we played it a lot. So that's just like a soft spot in my heart. Mario Odyssey. I was like Mario Odyssey. Max Payne 3, which we just talked about, but mostly because of the multiplayer, because I love the multiplayer. Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yes.
Spider-Man 2018. Neither one on there. Bully. Not on there.
Bully's a good
Oh,
one.
man, yeah.
I love Bully.
Oh, my
a good
God.
one.
Bully was so good.
Control. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. Love the first one.
Yeah.
It's like the environmental puzzling of jumping around, and it's just so
That
good.
is very good.
And just the rewinding time was like a novel thing back in the day. Yeah, that was one of those things that they kind of did not want to end. Shadow of the Colossus. Infamous 2. L.A. Noire, which I think is probably more me than anybody else, but I liked L.A. Noire a
I
lot.
couldn't get it.
I liked 2/3 of that game.
Dead Space 2, with the best of the Dead Space games, I
yes.
think, really opened up Dead Space 1 to have like a huge, as opposed to just being a ship, you're like in a huge like space station. Oh, that was so good.
2 was so good.
Loved Dead Space
2 was
2.
awesome.
The thing recently, Microsoft put out like the museum thing where like wherever like you played the most. The Xbox game I played the most on any Xbox system was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, apparently I did that for a living for a long time. It was
did.
a lot.
We were living together.
Yes.
But that game's on our list already.
Is it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, I put it on there.
All right, cool.
It's 57.
All right, cool. Then I concur. Braid has one of the most mind-bending endings I think ever, and it was like one of those things where like I finished that game, I played it again, I unlocked the constellation of all the stars. If you know what that means, it's kind of crazy what you needed to do to make that happen.
The game was gorgeous.
If that game would have had a platinum trophy on it, I would have gotten it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about Call of Duty 4, and you played that game enough that I remember I would work Saturdays during tax season, come home, take a nap, and I would text you to turn off the subwoofer on the surround sound because I could hear it through the wall.
Yep.
I could hear frags like bouncing on the ground and blowing up through the wall.
That's awesome.
Red Faction Guerrilla, which I played
yeah.
that game. I played that game a ton.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
And I guess like it was so hard to make. Like it was like the crazy level of destruction that they kind of scaled some of it back in the second game. Like I don't know why or how that would work. Like why would the first game have that and not the second game? The Darkness 2. The Darkness is a super underrated series. You can play it on backwards compatibility on the Xbox. I would totally.
Those games were fucking wild.
They're both good. They're both really, really good.
I don't think I ever played the second one.
The second one
First one was excellent.
Yeah,
I got the first one on your recommendation when I first got my PS3.
the first one had like the second you got to like there was like a black hole like magic thing you could do. The second you got that, like that's all you did in the game.
Yeah.
This one is much evener in terms, much more even in terms of like the combat. This was like the tentacle guys is talking to you, and the story is super dark. It's very, very good. Guacamelee 2. I freaking adore Guacamelee. Not only because it's a great game, but also it's one of those games I play with the girls. So I have like multiple fond feelings about that series and that game specifically. Nice. That's the better one of the two.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to figure out which one I wanted to do here, but it was Jackbox Party Pack 3 has I think the best collection of games on it.
So I don't know the difference between all 10 of them or whatever. So
well, I got 8.5 minutes, so I'll pull it up here when I'm all done. I only got 2 more anyway. Titan Souls. That is a super hard one shot, one kill type of thing for both ways. But like getting all these Titans to do, and I got the super awesome, crazy ending on that one too. Big fan of that. And finally, I have the Stanley Parable, which is going to be re-released here soon with a super deluxe edition. Have you played Stanley Parable, Art?
No, I've bought it on Steam and I haven't played it.
I have not. No.
I think you played it at one point, or you talked about it since we've been doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds like a good game. I should play it. I think I bought it for like $2 on Steam, and just it's one of those things. Like I have so many goddamn games in my Steam library.
I know,
but the problem, and it's one of those things. There's that. There's the fact that I know that like PC gaming with the right setup is better than console gaming in theory. But I sit at a computer for 8 to 10 hours a day. The last thing I want to do in my free time is sit at a damn computer.
Yeah.
All right, that game is coming out imminently on on consoles. I cannot recommend that game highly enough. It is a perfect combination of like mind bending and funny. Like it's legitimately funny.
Yeah.
Just completely subverts expectations. That is like it subverts expectations of the game that you're playing, gaming as a whole, and then things that they set up and then they change as you go along. Like there's multiple endings. It's very, very, very good. Jackbox Party Pack 3 for the record. Faking It was only fine, but Guespionage is a good game. TKO, which is great.
Oh, that's good.
Trivia Murder Party, and a Quiplash on there too. So it had like the classic ones on there. It had some really good ones on there. By the way, this is not on the list, but the number 8, the one that just came out recently, there's a game on there called Job Job, which is great. It is one of the all-time best Jackbox games, I think.
Oh, we gotta get together and play that.
It's very, very good. I got that, and I'm gonna be buying What the Dub next time it's on sale too. I heard that one was really funny too. It's like they have all these really old movie clips, and they'll get like a line from like one person in this movie, and then you write in what the other person like says, and everyone kind of judges it. It's one of those type of things.
Nice.
So that looks really, really funny too.
Cool.
But yeah, so that is. I think we might as well just cut this short because no one else has much to say in terms of that, and we've already gone long. It's almost midnight.
We need to add Kirby in the
really?
In the Forbidden Land.
Right. Send me whatever you want.
Yeah, we need to add that to it too because like I said, that's the best Kirby game I've ever played.
So I guess that's okay. In this last 6 minutes and 22 seconds. So yeah, I mean, I guess next time, bring some. If you look at I'll add those games to the list. You add a couple we just added on. Have a look and think if there's anything else on there. And then we'll have a finalize. All right, these are the games.
Yep.
And at that point, are we now cutting off the list where we're not going to add anything else to it? Right? Like this is these are our favorite games previous to April whatever 2022. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, because the next one will be still in April. Yep. So that works.
All right.
That works.
In theory.
In theory.
In theory.
In theory, it'll still be in April.
In theory.
In theory, we'll do this again in 2 weeks.
That's right.
In theory. All right.
And we will do this in up to and up to the next 32 weeks.
You'll have up to one more episode in April.
Stay tuned to September.
Man. Yeah, it's been crazy recently. And summer's, I'm looking at the calendar. May is just gone. Like all the, then it's summer. So, all right.
It'll be all right.
All right. I am turning off the timer. I concede my last 5 minutes back to the commissioner, whoever that is.
I think it's you.
I think it is. I concede my time. All right. Well, again, thank you all for your patience. I know we've been really spotty lately, so thank you very much for being patient with us. But we'll see you next time, Stickheads.